But the mind moves faster. This is not luck, this is discipline. Mind pillar. Take me higher tonight. Do it all, we're chasing the light. Crypto dreams and neon skies. We rise again, we never die.
All right, legends, welcome to another live stream. To kick things off over here, remember the disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I share with you how I approach the markets from an entertainment and educational perspective. And let's get the party on the road. Let me switch myself on. There we go. There we go. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Let's do some analysis here on the price of Bitcoin. Nice little dump we got here after the FOMC. And let's see if the dump is going to continue. As with the thumbnail, I'm trying to catch that Bitcoin. You know, do you have smelly fingers? That's the question. Do you have smelly fingers? Okay, I'm still in the short from higher up. My long is about to get stopped out. If price can find its feet here, because we need to discuss a couple of scenarios. And maybe, maybe I'll even take a trade here live on the live stream, because there is a very interesting level that I'm keeping an eye on, okay, for a short. But I might have to take that on a different account, because I'm already in a short on my Bluffin account. Make sure that you have your coffee, your water, your tea, whatever you drink ready, because this is going to be a long one, guys. This is going to be a long one. And hope you're all having a fantastic day. Remember to smash up the like button if you enjoy the content, the education, because you guys know always loads of education here on this channel. And I'll spend some time, go through the comments, say hi to the community. Okay, if you have any questions, please do so. Ask inside of the chat section. I'll go through all the chats. And let's have some fun here together. And perhaps there's a couple of scenarios that you are also watching based on your analysis. And then we can see, well, does it align? Does it not align? Okay, because it's always interesting to get other people's perspective as well, depending on what trading strategy you use. Mr. Rudy, welcome to the live stream. Good afternoon, chartist. Choose your waves well. It was a very interesting long opportunity this morning. Okay, very interesting long that I want to talk about. But I do know Andy is spending his day today inside of the community. I spent my day yesterday inside of the community. And if you guys want to be part, if you're here new to the live stream and you want to be part of the community, because that's where the action happens, it is the first link down in the description of this video that you're watching right now. Okay. Oh, Tubit has a nice little thing going on here. I'll talk about that in a moment. And it's 2 steps now. I reduced it from 3 steps to 2 steps. Okay. If you want to join the community, go to my command center on Telegram. Here's the link. Select start. It's that simple. Okay. It really is that simple today. Okay. Go to my command center on Telegram. Select start, and you will get the instructions on how you can join the community. Remember, if you sign up with one of the exchange affiliate partners down below, and you make a minimum deposit of $500, which is your money to trade with, you'll get 2 months for free inside of the community. If you stay active inside of your account, you just trade like you usually do, okay, we'll extend your access. So very easy way to get into the community. Very easy, because you just trade your own money. You're not giving me any money. Basically trade your own cash. So guys, maybe I must just zoom out here a little bit onto the 1 hour time frame, and let's just let's zoom out. This, I'm not sure if you've ever watched an oil painting. The closer you get to the oil painting, nothing makes sense. When you take a couple of steps back, the picture makes sense. So let's take a couple of steps back and just see, well, where is the structure at the moment? Okay, what could unfold over here? Where is a potential swing opportunity that I'm looking for? A bigger move, okay, to the up or to the downside. So I am still in 2 trades at the moment. The one trade I took over here. Okay, let's make that green because it was a long. That trade was shared in the community when I got into this trade. But I have added to this trade because I don't want market structure to change, and I think my entry is now here. Because I wanted to maximize profits to the upside, and I have taken a decent chunk of profits for this long already. Okay, and I'll go through the com section in a moment. Okay, oil painting, the story of my life. Don't forget to smash up that like button. Mr. A Trader, welcome to the live stream. I'll go through the com section in a moment. Then I'm in a short over there. Let's make that red. Okay. For me, a hedging position is a great position to be in, because that's also something that Andy spoke about yesterday, is that because I'm hedged properly, I'm not hedged in the middle of the structure with a stop above the high and a stop below the low, and I'm just hoping that, it's either going to just smash to the upside or fall to the downside, and then whichever one gets stopped out, I'll make profits with the other one. That is the worst hedging that a trader can do. That's not the way that I hedge, by the way. Okay, I like to long the bottoms and short the tops. Because the beauty about hedging now is that when I'm looking for a long and I get stopped out, this hedge pays the stoppages over here. Just depends on how you manage your risk. You don't want to blow a big hole where the short basically just covers the stop loss. No. Okay. I think Andy did such a beautiful demonstration yesterday where he was in profits, $37,000 in profits already, and he took a little bit of profits to pay for the stop loss of the long that he was looking for, or the short that he was looking for. Well, he's in the long, okay? If I remember correctly, he's in the long. So he took a little bit of profits from the long to pay for the stop loss of the short, but it was insignificant. Okay, it was insignificant. So it's a beautiful position to be in. So the conundrum that I sit with now at the moment is, if I get stopped out of this long, I'm going to have to look for a new long. But at least then I'm still hedged from the shorting perspective. If price continues up and stops me out of the short, and anyways, then I'm going to maximize the profits to the upside from the long position that I'm in. Right, and these are still... I just want to rearrange these screens. Let me just do that. Okay, let's try this again. So that's basically the situation that I'm in at the moment. Okay, guys, remember, okay, and I feel very strongly about this. I am not showing you the screen to brag about the money that I'm making. If I could hide this, then... okay, maybe I need to hide it, okay? It's not about the money that I'm making. I'm showing this from an education perspective to show you how I trade. When I tell people I'm in a short, I put my money where my mouth is. I am in the short. When I'm in the long, I am in the long. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I don't want to be that YouTube influencer that tells people, oh, I took a short here. Oh, and I took a long here, and it just seems too good to be true, okay? I show the community. When I enter a trade, I tell the community I'm entering. This is my risk management. This is where I plan to take profits from an education perspective, because I believe the best way to learn is to see how someone else does it. That is my education philosophy, is that if you want to teach someone how to do it properly, show them how to do it properly. Don't just tell them, show them. Okay, and that's the reason for showing my trades. Okay, so the conundrum is, you know, there's always that thought in the back of my mind where I'm like, well, you know, maybe I should have left this trade over here, the long that I'm in at the moment. Maybe I should have left it over here because it could do that. Stop me out and then it continues without me. Okay. It just depends on how you as a technical trader want to manage your trade. I wanted to maximize profits here to the upside, which I did. I have a quite significant amount of profits for me. Okay, it's significant for me. That might not be significant for other traders. Maybe you're trading with a $10 million portfolio and this is insignificant to you. Okay, but maybe it's a massive amount. I don't care. It's not about the money at the end of the day. I'm just showing you how I approach the markets. You do you at the end of the day. Okay. And right, but I'm doing it responsibly. Okay, I'm not, guys, I'm not going to go in here with my whole account at 50x leverage or 50% of my account at 20x leverage. It's just not my style. It's not how I trade, because I can show off a $500,000 or $1 million trade over here, massive profits, but I can tell you now it's not going to last long. At some point, okay, maybe a day or two or three, maybe I get lucky for a month, I'm going to blow up my entire account. So I trade responsibly. I would rather have a 10,000 year and a 20,000 year and another 5,000 year and a 3,000 year, because it all adds up. And that is what keeps me consistent as a trader, month after month, consistent profits. I would rather have small, consistent profits than have massive profits that I'm trying to show off in front of who, okay? And then I lose my entire account and I don't have my consistent profits anymore because I don't have an account to trade with. So let's get the party on the road. Devil the Master. Hey, Mr. Andy is here in the live stream as well. This guy is so good. I love him. Mr. Andy, you are hilarious. Okay. Mr. Joan here in the live stream as well. Mr. Joan, hello, Devil and Legends. Myself and Joan had a quick little discussion just before the live stream. I just needed to confirm an Elliott wave scenario. Yes, guys, I still ask for help, and I'm not ashamed to say that I still ask for help, because I know I'm human. I make mistakes. I forget things. And sometimes Elliott wave theory, with all the rules, this is not allowed in this structure, this is not allowed in that structure, okay, WXY is not allowed in a W. Like, sometimes the rules become overwhelming, and I see a scenario, I'm like, I don't know if that is allowed. So these are some of the conversations I have with Andy and with Joan. Mr. Joan is a very good Elliotician. So I asked him a question just before the stream to say, I want to show the community this. Is it allowed? And he's like, no, no, Devil, it's not allowed. Okay, guys, I asked for help. Okay, I asked for help, and I'm not ashamed to say that, you know, sometimes you just need to make double sure, because when you ask ChatGPT, it just says yes to everything. ChatGPT just says, is this allowed? Yes. It's allowed. Is this allowed? Yes, it's allowed. And then you go and read a Robert Practice book, and you go and do some research on Elliott C, okay, the website that I also use, and then it's not allowed. Okay. And right, let's dive here into the technical analysis. Let me first, guys, before we start, this is going to be a little bit of a longer live stream. So, okay, if I don't get into the technical straight away, I'm pacing myself, okay? I'm pacing myself, right? Market M, yo, what's up, Devil and Legends? Welcome to the stream, Mr. Rick Tai. Hello, Devil, yo. Simon Jones also here in the live stream. Welcome. Destroy the like button. Yes, if you haven't done so already, maybe you forgot to give that like button a gentle tap. That would be much appreciated. Okay, good day, Devils. Let go. Yo, Devil, funny thumbnail. How are you, brother? Is there any bullish case scenario from? Yeah, yes, that's what we're going to discuss today. I'm going to go through every possible scenario that I can think about. Okay, but it's actually very simple from a trading perspective. Because once I go through the scenarios, and when I do my analysis in the morning, sometimes it just looks like, what on earth? There's so many scenarios. I don't know how to trade all of these scenarios. Because over-analysis can create analysis paralysis. Okay, but then sometimes you just need to simplify things. So I'm going to get there. I'm going to confuse the crap out of everyone, most probably, if you're not used to like intense technical analysis. And then I'm going to simplify it and say, well, this is where I'm looking for a short and this is where I'm looking for a long. Right? And maybe we'll even get one of those trades here live in the stream. Okay. Get ready for the dump. Buzz Maria, welcome to the live stream, Mr. Joan. Yes, welcome, Mr. Joan. Devil, can you please coming live on our, as usual, time to do a long live stream, because this time's New York open time, so I cannot watch stream with full focus, because jumping between charts and YouTube. Right, guys, well, you know, myself and Andy have discussed that we are going to rotate YouTube live streams. One day Andy, one day myself. And this is more or less, you know, between 12, 3 o'clock Central European time. I am a little bit late today. Usually I go live, you know, like an hour or two earlier. So today is a little bit of an exception, but I will commit to start my live streams around about 12. Okay, 11 to 12 Central European time. So today is a little bit late, and but yes, let's go. This guy's good. I love him, Mr. Andy. And Andy is also spending his time, like I said, guys, inside of the community today. So if you don't want to miss out on what Andy's up to with the community members, link is down in the description to join the community. Okay, I'll also share what happened yesterday inside of the community. Right, that daily level that Andy also shorted last night in his live stream is, well, printed. It printed yesterday. I took that trade. Beautiful trade, by the way. I also highlighted that trade yesterday in the community. I did some video updates, shared some screenshots, and it seems that the community also enjoy the small little video updates. So as the price action develops, I do a couple of video updates as well. I share some screenshot trading opportunities, and I will do a combination of both going forward inside of the community. Deal with the master. Andy, you are the master. You are the master. Okay. It's not looking good for SA today. Is it not looking good for SA today? It's very cold in South Africa today. Yes, I have my gas heater here on next to me. It's very chilly. Okay. In fact, it was so chilly when I went to gym. I went to the sauna, not the steam room, the sauna afterwards. Almost fainted. I just spent way too much time inside of the sauna. Good to know, Mark. Oops, wrong chat. Right, good afternoon, lovely traders. And Andy was my first subscriber on Oni. Oh, God. Mr. Mark, always appreciate your humor here inside of the live streams. Hey, Devil, Dark Cone 342. Welcome to the live stream, fam. Much love to everyone. Suddenly everyone is bearish. Yes, that's a good point. Suddenly everyone is bearish. Based on current price action. Okay, because anything can happen. There is a massive bearish scenario which I will share. Okay, based on current price action, there is for now a higher probability to take the high again, regardless of how low this falls. There's still a higher probability based on current price action, but we're going to go through the scenarios. Okay, still believing into inverse correlation with oil. I see oil is taking a little bit of a dump today, which is great for us, you know, in the country with fuel prices and so forth. Taken with a great enjoy Ronaldo yesterday. Oh. I don't know if I want to talk about the soccer. Okay, yesterday it is. Yeah, I had a little bit of a discussion with my wife about the soccer last night as well. So maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later. Okay. We're playing yes today. Who's he? Who is okay, right, guys. Now let's get the technical analysis on the way, because that is why you're here. Okay, let's see if there's any scenarios that we can trade. Perhaps we'll catch a nice little live trade here together on the live stream, because there's a very simple trade that I'm waiting for. And it's either going to be a short or it's going to be a long. I am neutral. I am not bearish. I am not bullish. Okay, wherever price goes first, I will look for a trading opportunity, whether that's a short or whether that's a long. I'm just looking to make money as a day trader. That's it. If I make money from a short, great. If I make money from a long, great. Okay, I'm not going to let my emotions from a bullish or bearish perspective impact how I approach the market from a day trading perspective. So wherever price goes next, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Okay, so let's take the lines here out the way. Looking at this structure, okay, since the low at, what was this, $59,000 to the high created at $67,255. I just want to highlight that this structure can morph into something larger. Again, I have some folders prepared, but I'm just going to I'm just going to freestyle it over here. First scenario is when you have a three-wave structure. When you have a three-wave structure, and yes, this is still a high probability three-wave structure. Okay, if price does this, then you have a five-wave structure. But you have a problem with a five-wave structure because there's overlap between wave 1 and 4. Then you have to consider diagonals. Now remember, diagonals never carry the highest probability, because every single time we have seen a damn diagonal, what did price do? It took the low. And there's many examples, guys. If I go into the 4-hour time frame, okay, and I zoom out, do you guys remember this structure had a diagonal? When price, and this is something that I look for, when price falls to the downside and it makes a low, is the move up bullish? High probability bullish. The bounce, is the bounce bullish? or is it a weak bounce? And usually when the bounce creates a diagonal, it's not great for the bulls, okay? Because price formed a three-wave structure and there was the diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diagonal, contracting, leading diagonal. So the diagonal played out. Price formed a higher low. So the diagonal played out. But usually, most often, what I've seen is when there is a diagonal, it creates a corrective structure. It creates a W, X, Y, or an ABC. It creates a larger three-wave structure and price takes the low again. What happened? Price fell. Okay, and then what happened? Price formed a diagonal again. Do you guys remember this diagonal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Contracting diagonal. Exactly what happened here in the diagonal. Price formed a larger three-wave structure, so the diagonal played out, but it was an A wave. This was an A wave. This was a B and a C to the upside. Three-wave structure, what happened? Price took the low. Now, based on this little structure, what do we have? Okay, this is always what I look for as a technical trader, is that when price dumps, what is forming here? If price had to bounce and form a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, without overlap between 4 and 1, now that's a great start. Because then you know, okay, now there's a higher probability for a reversal back to the upside. Because if I go back here onto the 1 hour time frame and I show you this little structure, well. Okay, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit. 4 and 1 overlap. Now you have to consider a diagonal again. So it's not a great start for the bulls. Every time a low is made and price bounces, it forms a damn diagonal. Okay, there's your diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correction, higher low, and now again we have a three-wave structure to the upside. It's just price dumps, does the same thing. Price dumps, does the same thing. Can you guys see how it's just repeating itself the whole time? If price dumps again and it does that, it's not great for the bulls. Yes, you can move higher. Okay, and this is what I'm going to discuss now. This three-wave structure can become something bigger, but the probabilities are always high to take the low regardless of how high this goes. Okay, now this little structure is a leading diagonal, so I can label this a wave A. I can count 5 waves in this move to the upside, so I can label this a wave C. You have a three-wave structure in an ABC. ABC equals a W or a bigger A. Now, so this can now form an A, B, C, so it forms a larger three-wave structure, or a W, X, Y. So this structure can morph into something larger. If it's an A, B has to tap a flat target, which is the 0.9 minimum target. So it's going to go deep. If it's a W, it can bounce in this zone. Basically creates a higher low and it continues back to the upside. So first scenario, just to keep it simple, is that what I like to do is put a Fibonacci in place, okay, from the low of the structure to the high of the structure. Now I know if it's a WXY, so let's take it out here. If this is going to form a W, okay, if this is a W, not form, if this is a W, okay, you ideally want X to bounce between the 50% and 618. In this zone is common for X if Y is going to extend to the upside. Usually what happens is if W and X goes deep and it taps the 0.7 levels, you can have a Y that does not take the high of the W. So basically you get a longer sideways corrective structure. Price basically goes sideways. And then it falls. And it can form a triangle in a Y. It can form a flat in a Y. Y waves can be very complex. WXY corrective structures are very complex. ABCs are easy. Usually you can see the ABC, okay? You have the 3-wave up, flat, down, and then a 5-wave back to the upside, or inverse, if depending on where price is coming. But WXYs, they can really become complex, because I remember this WXY. And I'm sure Andy remembers this one as well. I need to go on to the 8-hour time frame. This was a really complicated structure to count from an Elliott wave perspective, because the ABC didn't make sense. If this is a C wave to the upside, well, it doesn't make sense, okay? Because you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, crap. You have overlap. Now you have a diagonal and another diagonal. You just have diagonal after diagonal. Doesn't make sense. Okay. And then another wave to the upside. But anyways, I still have that count saved. This was actually, okay, we all know by now, this was a W, X in a triangle. And then you have an ABC to complete your Y wave to the upside, rejecting at the 0.786 when you take a fib from the low to the high to the low to measure the target for the Y wave. But it boils down to a 3-wave structure. Okay. So let's get back into the structure. I know you guys most probably want to see what's going to happen here. What I want to do is I want to set an alarm for this high. So if the alarm goes off, and I want to set an alarm for this low, so I can get ready for the trade that I'm looking for. Okay. And then if one of those alarms go off, then I'll jump off the higher time frames and we can focus on the lower time frames. So let's get back here onto the 1 hour. So a WXY is not going to be an easy structure, but there's a chance that price basically bounces in this box and it could extend. And basically what you're looking for is a larger 3-wave structure. Most commonly, if Y extends to the upside, you want X to bounce in this zone without claiming the 0.7. X can go lower and this can still happen. I have seen it many times. Okay, it's just based on probabilities. When X is a little bit more shallow, Y tends to extend a lot further. Okay. Some beer, braai and sukker. 3 times the charm. Trend is the friend till not. Yes, the trend is your friend until it isn't. Okay. Football, you soccer. Just having some fun reading through the comments. Okay, so this can now also be an ABC that is forming over here. Oops, not a WXY, ABC. Okay, A. We've seen this movie before. BC. We've seen this movie before. So based on this little structure here to the upside, I know I'm now talking about larger corrective structures. This can be an A, which means if this is an A, this structure to the downside has to tap the 0.9 because that's the minimum B wave target. Okay, but the danger about this ABC here to the upside is that it can be done and price just falls. It doesn't have to create a larger 3-wave structure. There's already a 3-wave structure. I'm just trying to paint out the picture that this 3-wave structure can turn into something larger. It doesn't have to, because there's already a completed 3-wave structure. So it can either form a larger 3-wave structure or the high is in and price falls to the downside. And this is now what becomes interesting as a technical trader, is to say that, well, okay, now that price has formed the three-wave structure, what is this? Is this impulsive or is it corrective to the downside? Because if the corrective structure takes priority, it looks more corrective to the downside, then you expect price to turn around again and take the high. If it looks more impulsive to the downside, you expect price to basically continue and take the low. So also to the downside, you don't really want to look for diagonals, because we all know how diagonals end up. They make a three-wave structure and they dump. So if there's a diagonal in this structure, I can't give it the highest probability that price is guaranteed to fall here to the downside. It's just, diagonals do play out. It's just not great to start momentum in a direction from an aggressive perspective. Okay. So now we need to discuss what is happening here. This is now the interesting structure. Is there a higher chance for this structure to fall and take the low? Or is there a higher probability for the structure to find its feet and turn around back again to go and claim the high? Okay. Now, I know we all remember what happened here, because this structure had a higher probability to be corrective to take the high again. I know, I remember this, and I will never forget this, because this move to the downside caught me off guard, where price basically formed, okay, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. Okay, so I'm prepared this time, and I'm going to discuss low probability scenarios as well, because there is a scenario where price can dump, and I'm going to discuss it. I don't want to get caught off guard again. Okay. Right, so now I want to focus, maybe before we get to this little move here to the downside, let's just take stock of, well, what is this? Is there still a chance based on this structure that this low can be taken again? So I think that's what I want to discuss first before we dive into this little local structure. Remember to smash up the like button if you guys do enjoy the education over here. And maybe before I get to that, let me go through a couple more comments. Okay. Said I agreed with you, Andy's streams yesterday. We're playing ZZ today. Okay. Oh, super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat software. Okay. On the 6 hour, I'm seeing this as an upwards channel and price just touched the bottom. Is it valid? That could lead us to test the highs. Are you basically talking about the bear? You're basically, okay. Let me see how this one actually played out. Let's take a channel. Okay. I know this is not the one you're talking about, but this is basically what you're highlighting, is to say that, well, you have a bear flag to the upside, price breaks down. You had a bear flag to the upside, price breaks down. Now you're looking at the smaller time frames based on this local structure. Okay, we have the same thing. Let me just take the scribble here out the way. You have a bear flaggy. I'm going to use a magnet so I can get this on properly. Okay, because this is now the structure that is currently unfolding. No, that's the wrong one. Let's use a parallel channel here from the low, okay, to this little low, to the high. Let's get it exact. Well. It has not tapped the bottom yet, this channel. Okay, but you talking about the 6 hour time frame? Are you talking to the downside? Okay, I'll have a look at that now, but let me just finish this discussion. I think I misread your chat. You're talking about the 6 hour time frame, the channel. I'm not sure if you're talking about this low or you're talking about a bigger structure to the downside. Price just touched the bottom. Upwards channel. I've never used the 6 hour time frame. You guys are, it's not even here. I have to manually go and add it. Okay. but the 8 hours should be good enough. Are you talking about this channel? Same thing, right? It just depends, guys. It depends on where you put. Okay, if you put it there, yes, it has touched the bottom. But I've done enough channeling in my life to know that that's not how you're supposed to put the channel. You do you at the end of the day. I'm just sharing with you how I approach the markets. I prefer to put my channel at that high and at this low and at this low. Oh, I've messed up this channel now completely. Let me try this again. Sorry guys, please be patient with me. Okay, let's do this again. I like to take it from this low, okay, to this low to the high. That's how I like to draw channels. Because in Elliott wave theory, they teach you how to do channeling. So for me, this is a better way to do channeling. And you can see it has not tapped the bottom just as yet. So I would prefer for price to come down a little bit lower. But now, the reason I went into the larger time frame here on the 4 hours, just to show you, well, what happened previously. Okay, because previously when price tapped the bottom of the channel, come on, snap, snap baby, snap. Now, sorry, sometimes it doesn't want to snap, guys, and then you have to zoom in a little bit, and there we go, to the top. Okay, if you want to get it exact. Well, the last time price tapped the bottom of the channel, all hell broke loose and we fell. So is it going to lose the channel? Because that then provides a shorting opportunity. Okay, so let me just go back here onto the 1 hour time frame. This is the one that I don't need. But that's basically a trend, guys. It's basically your home line, okay? So if I take a trend from the low to this low, basically drag it across, that's basically what I refer to as the home line, okay? So when price comes back to the home line, there is a chance for a bounce. So it becomes an interesting longing opportunity depending on how you trade it. Okay. I don't know what is happening with Aptos. Okay, I'm discussing Bitcoin at the moment because I'm not going to look at altcoins just as yet because not everyone is interested in altcoins. This is a Bitcoin channel. I can look at some altcoins maybe later after I've done the analysis here on Bitcoin. But guys, I've just seen it. As soon as I start talking about an altcoin, people leave. I can see the numbers here on the live stream. As soon as I open up Doge or any other altcoin, I can see how people just leave. People are not always interested in altcoins because I do 99% of my trading on Bitcoin. I don't need to trade altcoins to make money. I'm a day trader. And Bitcoin respects levels way better than any other altcoin, even Ethereum. Ethereum does not respect daily levels. It doesn't respect weekly levels. It ignores naked point of controls. So I cannot apply my trading strategy on an altcoin. That's why I trade Bitcoin, because it respects my trading strategies. Okay, so I will get to it if I have a chance, right? So please stop asking because I did see this comment pop up a lot of times already. Right, I think my alarm is going to go off. I might have to jump here into the smaller time frame. So, most interesting level, guys. Let's talk about this potential trade that could be unfolding if price continues to fall here to the downside. First level, first thing that I want to do here quickly is this. Okay, interesting that this point of control also has confluence with a trend. It's also where the most amount of volume was traded. When I switch on my daily levels, my weekly levels, there's a daily level there, there's a weekly point of control, and there's a weekly level there. So you can see that there's a nice little support inside of this zone. So the trade that I was waiting for, and I know I'm going like a, I'm going to the South Pole to get to the North Pole. So it doesn't really make sense, okay? But, I'm having fun and I'm educating and I'm explaining scenarios and how structures unfold and what are the probabilities based on previous structures. Okay, but from a day trading perspective, this is an interesting zone for a bounce. There's lots of support. You have volume, you have diagonal support, and you have levels. So it's nice when horizontal and diagonal levels cross. That's usually where you get a strong, could get a strong bounce. Okay, so if price gets here, I'm looking for a long. Because it is going to stop me out of my bluff and long, so I'm looking for a new long. Okay, so price is falling at the moment, and then if price does not bounce here at the daily levels and the area that I've just identified, I'm looking for a short, and I'll explain to you guys where I'm looking for that short. Okay, remember, I'm simply sharing with you how I trade. You do not have to take any of the trades that I'm taking. I'm just sharing what I am doing. Okay, if you are not managing your risk and you are entering the trade just because I'm entering it and you liquidate your account, it's not my fault. You need to manage your risk. Okay, because you guys will see the way that I do it is very responsibly. Every single person is looking at that major confluence zone. I know. That's what concerns me about that zone. There's a lot of eyes on that zone. Okay, but you have to also remember from this low, okay, and this is now maybe if price slices that level, if price does not respect this level, where am I looking for the bounce? Because when, well, there goes the alarm. When a lot of people are watching a zone, and I agree with this comment, okay, because I've seen it so many times. When everyone is watching a zone, maybe you get a little bounce, but it continues to the downside. But I can take advantage of that little bounce. Okay. But if it does not respect this zone and it slices through with high volume, selling pressure increasing, okay, I want to see volume increasing. Where's the next level where I'm watching the bounce? Well, I'm going to put it simple. You still have high volume there and you still have high volume there. So if price does not respect this zone, the next zone that I'm watching is basically a swing failure from that pivot. Next zone that I'm watching is this daily level in confluence with that high volume node. So what's important for me is that I need to have a trading plan further down as well, if in case this level doesn't get respected and price just falls through it. Okay, then I can be a little bit more creative, and I know this is getting a little bit dirty. The chart is getting a little bit dirty. Is I can take a Fibonacci from the low of this structure to the high, and now I have some confluence. Okay, I have the golden pocket together with the zone that everyone is watching. I have the 0.7, and the community knows how much I love the 0.7 together with this pivot. And because I trade swing failure patterns, for me it is relatively easy to get into one of these levels with great risk management. Okay, and then a little bit further down you have the, I need to change that level to the 0.88. Let's do this. Switch my 0.88 on. Don't need this for this structure. I have the 0.88 in perfect confluence with the daily level. So if things gets nasty to the downside, I can still consider a long at these two places. Okay. The 0.7 doesn't really have confluence. It has ever so slightly from a volume perspective. It just has this drop in volume and then a little spike over there. But the most volume sits at the daily level. And then a little bit further up, 0.7. So if price is going to fall aggressively to scare these people out of their trades, because I can just imagine people are putting limit orders here. It's a great area of confluence. Technically it makes sense. You have diagonal support, you have weekly levels, you have a daily level, you have lots of volume. There's a lot of support which I can just imagine a lot of technical traders are keeping an eye on. So if they want to send it, let everyone's limit orders kick in, Why not scare the crap out of them? Why not liquidate their positions before price gets the bounce? And this is why this zone becomes so interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's just zoom into that price action. We might get, guys, but depending on the reaction, I can enter a trade, and if I'm wrong, lose very little capital. So as price is now falling here to the downside, first level that I'm paying attention to is the daily level. That is the first level here to the downside. Okay, price is now chopping. Something else that can happen is price front runs the level. So maybe it doesn't do, oops. Okay guys, I'm just going to delete this alarm now because now it's just getting irritating. Right. So price can front run and leave these people behind. Oh crap. It didn't come to my limit orders. So usually two things happens. The price either front runs or it scares the crap out of people and it bounces lower down. First liquidates everyone out of their positions, okay, because there could be 100x, 200x positions, limit orders over here, price falls, liquidates them, then it bounces. So either the bounce happens here or it happens here, but I can definitely attempt a trade here with great risk management. So I'm waiting for price to approach my area of interest. Remember, I'm already in a long over here. I'm already in a long from lower down. I've added to the position. I'm already in a long. So if it front runs, I'll take advantage of the momentum to the upside. If I get stopped out, well, then, you know, that's where I'm looking for a new long. What I want to do is I just want to drag my exchange to the other screen in case I need to enter a trade. It's just way easier for me to enter a trade if I can watch the chart and watch my screen, my exchange at the same time. Okay. Remember guys, if you want to join the community, myself and Andy do have a community where we share daily updates. Okay, when I enter trades, because it doesn't always happen here on the live streams. If you want to know how I trade, when Andy trades, when he shorts, when he longs, okay, we share that inside of the community from an education perspective. And go to my command center on Telegram. There's the link and select start. Okay, there's a little start button. Just click start, and then I'll send you the instructions on how to join the community. So now price is pumping here to the upside. Okay, alarm went off, false alarm. Right. But what is interesting about this, okay, just from a range trading perspective, guys, I know this is getting very messy, so let me just clean it up a little bit. Let's leave the trend. Let's take the daily levels and weekly levels out the way quickly. Okay, what is interesting about range trading? Okay, this is your range. You get deviations below, price gets acceptance back above. Okay, you get deviations above, price gets acceptance back inside the range. So from a range trading perspective, because I know there's some range traders inside of the community as well, and yeah, most probably inside of the live stream. Okay, when price gets acceptance back inside of the range, it usually increases the probability that it's going to go down to the bottom of the range. So range traders short the top and they take profits at the low. They long the bottoms and they take profits at the highs when it taps the top again. Okay, that's just range trading one-on-one. For price to continue outside of the range, usually it needs to bounce at the point of control maximum. If price loses the point of control and starts closing high time frame candles below, it increases the probabilities to come back to the bottom of the range. And that's maybe where that B flat, okay, because this can form a B wave. Remember, that's why it's so important to look at the oil painting and take a couple of steps back. Because now that I've shown you that three-wave structure that can turn into an A wave, now you know that B can fall and then C can go back up. It's basically just continuing the range. So purely from a range perspective, to keep it very simple, this is definitely an interesting zone for a long. If price is going to take this high again without taking the low, it needs to bounce, preferably at the point of control, because usually when price loses the point of control, you can see that's also a shorting opportunity. It's losing the trend. Okay, usually when it loses the point of control, it takes the bottom again. Doesn't have to do it. I'm just discussing what happens most often, and we have all seen this play out. Okay, now what I want to do is, before I continue, let me go through some more comments. There we go. Stocks pumping. Hi Devil, hi all. Lucian, welcome to the live stream. Dump it. It's unbelievable how much I love this channel. These two people teach people about financial freedom for free. This is incomprehensible to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. You know, I've had the team, let me just rephrase, myself and Andy have had people tell us, you just share way too much on YouTube. You're giving away all your secret sauce. No one on YouTube explains how to trade like you and Andy does. I can't help it, guys. I love to educate. I love to share my knowledge with people on how I trade. Okay, because it's easy to follow someone just to enter a trade. You just want to get the long, you want to get the short. Where's this person shorting? Where's this person longing? What myself and Andy love to do is to show you how to find it yourself. And most importantly, risk management. Okay, this morning I posted a short on this channel, the YouTube channel. Go and check it out if you haven't seen it. Go check out the short if you haven't seen it, because you will see that when I trade, I'm super focused on my risk management. I don't care how much money I'm going to make. I'm so focused on my risk management. And once my risk management is sorted and I have a free trade, okay, that's where I'm then, okay, now it's about trade management. Where do I take profits so that I can maximize my profits out of the trade? And that is what keeps me profitable as a trader. And the same with Andy as well. Okay, so I really appreciate the comment, Mirella, Kiss. I appreciate the comment, because it's comments like these that also motivate myself and Andy to want to do this more. And I don't care that I'm sharing the secret sauce. Okay, yes, you do get way more inside of the community as well, because when I'm not live on YouTube, I'm inside of the community. Last night, you know, I was posting updates inside of the community. Andy is inside of the community today. So the community gets a little bit more of us. When we're not on YouTube, we are inside of the community. If I'm entering a trade, I share it inside of the community. Sometimes here in the live streams, we get lucky and there's a trade that I've been waiting for that I've already shared with the community that I'm now executing live on YouTube, for example. Okay, but it's done from an education perspective. I'm not sharing how I trade because I want people to trade with me, especially if you don't know what you are doing. Okay. How's the trading been, Mr. Alex? I don't know. Let's get that bounce to the golden pocket before we dump. Golden pocket, yeah, that's one of the scenarios we need to discuss. So, guys, you know, there's a possibility for... Is that the golden pocket you're referring to, or you're referring to this golden pocket? Okay, not sure. We'll figure that out, because there's a couple of trading scenarios in the zone that I'm currently watching. Okay, most interesting long, technically. Okay, I know that I've told you guys that, you know, there could be a front run, or it could go down a little bit deeper. But technically, the strongest area of support is, yeah. I'm sharing with you that it might not bounce, because usually when a lot of eyes, okay, there are thousands and thousands of people watching this level. Okay, so maybe it bounces. But people don't take profits. They don't protect position. They don't cover their fees. Okay, they don't manage their trade properly because they are expecting higher. Make no mistake, based on my trading style, if price gets here, I'm already in profits because I know it can do that and then get a bigger bounce. So it's just about how you manage your trades, because I know people get greedy. You remember the market plays on that fear and greed emotion the whole time. When price bounce, and if it bounces over here, most people are going to expect this rocket to the upside. So what do? They don't take profits because they want to maximize their profits, and they only want to take profits at the high or even higher. Okay. But my style of trading, and Andy's style of trading as well, is that when that bounce happens over here, okay, I already covered my fees, I already protected position depending on where I entered, and I'm already profitable. And then I leave a runner. If it wants to go, then I'll make more money. Okay, that's just how myself and Andy like to trade. Or double bottom, yeah. I think the one thing that's concerning me a little bit is that on some exchanges, this low got taken. And here on the Binance chart and some other exchanges, it did not get taken. So we can be a little bit more accurate with that. And I can take a horizontal, switch on my magnet just to make double sure, and I snap it here onto the bottom. Okay, let's make the line thin so we can see. If I zoom in, you can see Binance has not claimed the low, and on some exchanges it did claim the low. So it would be nice for all exchanges to align and just claim the damn low on all exchanges. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to put that alarm back, and I'm just going to make the daily level, I'm just going to put my alarm on the daily level. Okay, so obviously the daily level is where I'm looking for my first long. Depending on the reaction, I will decide whether I want to enter this trade or not. Okay, usually what I do is, guys, and it's, I'm just sharing with you how I approach the markets. If price falls and it leaves a long wick to the downside, but it gets back up, okay, and it leaves a long wick, I just go in with way less capital, because now I know I have a big stop loss to contend with. The best SFPs, okay, was this one. Do you guys remember this one last night? Also a relatively long wick, but it's tiny compared to the risk to reward that you were expecting, that I was expecting. I took this trade yesterday. I'm not sure if anyone else took this trade. Okay, Andy shared it inside of his live stream. Beautiful risk to reward. I took this trade on 2bit, my 2bit account, because I'm already in the short on Bluffin. So I can't open 2 short trades. Maybe you can, I don't want to. I'm already positioned in Bluffin, so I took this trade on 2bit. And took profits over here, protected position, fees were covered, stop loss was paid, beautiful. And then as I can't say Jerome Powell anymore. I can't remember the new person that spoke last night. When this dump happened here, I took a big chunk of profits here at the lows. It was a nice trade, guys. Last night I went to bed smiling. I was just like, wow, it was a beautiful trade. Okay, the risk management was amazing. And now price is just chopping here to the downside. So we're going to analyze this structure now in a second. But first, what I need to do is I just need, okay, because this is a longer live stream, and I did go to the sauna and I had a lot of water because I felt extremely dehydrated. Okay, I just need 1 minute. Be back in 1 minute. I need a what is the abbreviation for that? Bathroom break. Okay, I'll be back. I was just thinking while I was walking, how many times I have seen this, guys. I have seen it so many times, and I'm sure you guys have as well. And I think that that's why it's worth talking about it. Is make no mistake, I will definitely attempt. Whoops, what happened? What happened? Let me try again. Sorry, guys, I lost my camera. I'm not sure if it's overheating. Let's try again. That would suck if my camera doesn't come back. Oh yeah, it's overheating because I've got the gas heater here next to me. Okay, maybe that's why my camera is overheating. It's showing me temperature warning signs over here. I've just seen it so many times when so many people are watching a zone. It does that, or it front runs. And I can go and show you many examples. Okay, it's just something that I was thinking about, is to say that yes, I think we could get a bounce here, but let's see how this plays out, guys. I know there's a lot of people watching this zone. Let's see how it plays out. My prediction is it's either going to get a small bounce and then, okay, it stops out everyone and then it gets a bigger bounce, or it front runs. One of the two. So let's see if the prediction plays out. But I can still get in with great risk management, and I think now that price is approaching the level that now it's now where it becomes interesting, where I want to execute this trade. Okay, so basically the long that I'm looking for, let me just switch on my levels, because price is now approaching an interesting area of interest. Okay, what if price front runs? Where am I going to get into the long? That's the question. So what I'm trying to think about now is, if price does not get here and it just bounces, how can I still get into the long? Well, it's either I enter and I put my stop loss below the low. That's one way to get in, but it's not how I want to get into this trade. I would rather want to use my trade, one of my trading strategies. It is no SFP level for me here, unless, just want to see something here. You know, it's already tapped the 0.88, increasing probabilities to take the low. So it's not really a zone where I want to get into a long. I would rather wait for this to break. If it front runs, I would rather play the breakout and have a bigger stop loss, because the 0.88 was tapped. If you played an SFP from the 0.88, okay, great, because then your position should already be protected. It's just, I've just seen it many times. Okay, if you played the SFP, nice little bounce to the upside, you should have protected to, well, I would have protected, I would have taken profits, and I would have now had a protected position. Okay, that was one way to get in. It already made the bounce and it's coming back down, so I don't want to do the second attempt. The first attempt was great, not the second attempt. For me, I'm just explaining to you how I approach the markets. So if price wants to bounce, well, then I'll make a trading decision over there. Okay, because I know it could front run. If price falls down, well, now I'm going to be interested in these levels. I want to see how price reacts at these levels. Okay. I just want to mark out that point of control as well. I want to make sure that I have all the levels that I need over here, just from a confluence perspective. So you guys can see, trading is not easy. You need to put in the work. Okay, that point of control aligns with the weekly naked point of control, so I don't need to put in an extra level for that one. Now I know. So this is the long that I'm waiting for at the moment, but I need to have a oh, I see. Sorry guys, I see my camera is switched off. Let's just give my camera, let me do this. Let me do this. Okay, let's just give my camera 2 minutes to calm down, just to not overheat anymore, and then I'll switch it back on. Okay, so sorry that you guys can't see my face, but I just need to give my camera a little bit of cool off time. Okay, and then I'll switch it back on. I want to just get my levels here at the bottom ready as well. Obviously, we have a daily level that's very far away. The bounce could happen here in the middle. So what I want to do is, if price slices through here, where's the next level that I want to trade? So first up is this little pivot over here. I like this little pivot. Okay, snap it on with a magnet. I like to make my SFP lines white. That's just me. And we can call it SFP. And I just want to zoom out. Just getting my trading plan ready because I know it can slice through, guys. Okay, I want to use my magnet for this one as well, so I get the levels exactly where it needs to be. Let's do this. I'm going to put a level here. Oh, it's at the daily level. Sorry, it's the wrong one. It's this one. There we go. Slightly above. I want to put a line in here. And I'm going to call it the 0.7. Okay, I'm just building a trading plan. That's all I'm doing. Make it yellow because I know my 0.7s are yellow. So I know the colors of my Fibonacci already. So when I match the lines that I'm putting into my Fibonacci numbers, I know exactly which level I'm looking. I'm just putting the number 0.7 so that everyone knows it's the 0.7, because then I like to clean up the chart. I take the Fibonacci out. Okay, now I know if price slices through, I'm going to pay attention to this zone. Okay, it's just about, for me, it's just about having another plan ready. In case it doesn't bounce, where else can it bounce? It can bounce here. Okay, further down, daily level. There's also the 0.786, most probably with this pivot. I just want to see the alignment here quick again. From the low to the high. Oof, it's a little bit far away from that pivot. Okay, but what I can do is I can clone. It's not exact. So when I do this by myself, I'm very patient. I make sure that I use my magnet for all these levels just to make sure that I get them exact. And I will even go the extra mile and I will type the number into the line over here. I will type the number in here to make sure that it's exact. Okay, so I will go through the effort of typing in 62662. Okay, and then I know that that line is exactly where it needs to be. Okay, and I can clone this and place it at the 0.7. Okay, or you could just leave your Fibonacci however you want to trade this. Okay, I just like to clean up the chart, make it the same color as my, and then 62097. Right, now I know that these levels are exactly where they need to be. Right, I can take the fib out the way. I can take this fib out the way. Just clean up the chart a little bit, but now I have my levels to the downside. Okay, let's try this again. I have my alarm set at the daily level, and now let's see if this is going to work now. Right, I'm back. Let's see, maybe the camera is going to overheat again. Okay, I did put my gas geyser off, so I'm a little bit chilly here now in my office, but it's fine as long as you guys can see me now. So price is currently getting a little bit of dumpy action here to the downside. So I think, guys, before I continue with analyzing the structure, showing you the possibility scenario that could play out over here, price is now approaching an interesting area where I'm interested in a trade. So I want to take the trade. Okay, I'm a day trader. I want to take advantage of the situation. And I'm basically, for those of you that watched Andy's live stream yesterday, the reason I left this daily level, I'm looking for this over here. so that I can execute with great risk management, because this bounce does have the potential to go up and eat up all these highs. It does have the potential for this. So from a risk to reward perspective, okay, even if I put my stop loss here at the weekly level, okay, depending on where the SFP happens, from a risk to reward perspective, it's a great risk to reward. Yes, it even has the potential to go and claim the highs again. So you can see, based on where this could go, this structure has the potential to go and claim the high. It's a tiny stop loss for me. Okay, because I know the potential of what could play out over here. Just like Andy explained yesterday. Okay, what a legend, Mr. Andy. Okay, just like he explained yesterday, it's a tiny stop loss. Look at where price went. Okay, I took a lot of profits at this low. A 10 risk to reward trade. My God, that is amazing. Okay, if you left a runner, okay, now it's a 15 risk to reward, but you can see based on how the trade played out, this is a tiny stop loss compared to what the potential can be. And this is why I love swing failure patterns, because it gives you the best stop losses. What I don't like about swing failure patterns is you have to pay attention to the chart. You have to be in front of the chart. You have to play the reaction. You might have to re-enter if you get stopped out, because unfortunately what makes this area difficult is because there's 3 levels in this zone. Here was only one. There's only one level there. That's it. It's easy when there's one level. But when there's 3 levels, which one is going to get the bounce? Like, which one is going to get the bounce? So you could be saying, well, okay, maybe to make it easier, okay, I'm going to treat it as a swing trade. So maybe you can say, okay, or me, okay, which is not my cup of tea, by the way. You treat it as a swing trade. You're targeting the high, okay, and you basically have a stop loss that is further away, so that price can do whatever it needs to do here and you don't get wicked out of your trade. That's another option to trade it. You just have to, you still need your invalidation. You can even execute this trade with limit orders. So this is the relaxed way of taking the trade. It's way easier to take the trade like this, but you have to be extremely disciplined with how much capital you deploy. For me, when I take a trade like this, I will still risk 1 or 2% of my portfolio. That's it. Okay. And I will have a stop loss in place. I cannot limit order a trade without an invalidation. It's just not going to happen. Okay. Oh man, now price is bouncing again. Okay, doesn't want to come down. Just doesn't want to take the lows. Double bottom, it's just double bottoming over here. But this is a relaxed way of taking the trade. The danger about this trade, I'm not going to go into it because everyone knows exactly what I'm about to say if you've been following me for a while. The danger about this trade is people risk way too much. It is easier to trade like this, swing trading, but people going too heavy. They go 5%. I'm going to add another 5. What about a 10? Because now I'm getting more, there's those traders that says, and it's true, the closer price gets to your invalidation, the more aggressive you can become. Okay, I've heard traders say that. I'm not going to mention any names. It's true, guys. But by the time price gets to your stop loss and you get stopped out, you have potentially lost, or that person that's entered this trade has potentially lost 20 or 30 or 40% of the entire account with this trade. That's the danger about this trade. Okay, so you still need to apply your risk management rules to say that I am willing to risk 2% for this trade. and you stick to that rule. Or 3% maximum, that's what I will risk for this trade. So you could have a rule, I could have a rule to say that I'm going to deploy 1%, yeah, I'm going to deploy 1%, yeah, and just before price gets to my stop loss, I'm going to deploy 1%, yeah. So that if price falls all of my positions, I'm 3% into the trade. If it goes up, then great, 3% trade, make profits here to the upside. If I get stopped out, I lose the 3% that I wanted to risk for this trade. Okay, so there's always another way to get into a trade. I know that there's a lot of limit orders. Okay, I can just imagine. Okay, I don't know. Okay, when I say I know, I don't know. I can just imagine that there's a lot of limit orders in this zone. And this is why this zone for me is so interesting. And this is why I don't want to take a swing trade here. Because I know what can happen here. Okay. Targeting the highs. You have your stop loss a little bit further away. And then price does this. Fills, stops you out, and then it moves up. And this is why I don't want to swing trade over here. Because I know that that's a possibility because there's too many eyes on this level. I'm just sharing with you how I'm trading the structure. Okay, there's I don't like that everyone is eyeing this level, so I don't want to build a swing trade here. Unless, okay, this is very far away, guys. You put your stop below the low. But then the risk to reward doesn't make sense. Okay, even if you're targeting the high, you have a 1.24 risk to reward. So what you could do is to say that, okay, there's a lot of people watching, so 1% here, maybe 1% here, and another percent over here. So I'll still be in 3% depending on how many orders gets filled. It's just from a risk to reward perspective, this does not make sense for me based on my trading style. It is a way in which I suppose you could execute the trade. It's just not my cup of tea. Quit that thing over there. Right. Sorry guys, forgot to chat to you guys. Let's go. Same short. I mean the same short. Ways of the Jedis. Now that was an amazing short here to the downside, guys. And I mean, I can only share with you how I approach the market. But I already took a big chunk of profits here at these lows last night. When I saw this to the downside, I took a big chunk of profits here. And I left a little runner and I closed it this morning. When price took that low, I closed my 2-bit trade. It was a beautiful trade. I was very happy with that trade. Okay. I mean, you can always just leave a 5% just to run because you never know. Okay, but that's why I am in the bluff and short. I know that this can happen. The market is unpredictable. Okay, and then I'm just going to make nice profits with the short that I'm in here in bluffing at the moment. Oh, I moved it to the other screen. Okay, I want to see what CVD is doing at the moment. It's a little bit bearish, but it's not insane at the moment, but I don't see there's bullish CVD, but the bullish CVD already played out. No, it didn't play out. Okay, there's a little, it's a mix, guys. CVD is not really reliable where price is at the moment. There's a little bit of bullish CVD, but there's also some bearish CVD. Okay, locally, very neutral. This bearish CVD already played out. Price took the low, so can't really rely on CVD here at the moment. For those of you that are using this tool, these neon green candles is basically, it's high volume in those candles. Okay, neon pink is momentum continues to the downside. Neon green means that, you know, the bulls are trying to push price to the upside. Anything in between is just ranging. Okay, it's just ranging. And you will see that these candles are aligned with the volume here as well. Can you guys see this? Yes. In case you were wondering, okay, why you can select the candle volume color over here. Okay, we are making some improvements to the CVD tool, so this menu is going to move to the upside. There's some great new little things coming out. This free tools, you also get breaking news, economic calendar, you get fear and greed. Okay, you get fear and greed, prices overlaid with fear and greed. You can select timelines, you can go to the log scale, you can go crazy, guys. All of these tools are free to use for now. The link is down in the description. Here you go. Go and check it out, play around. And I know a lot of people, as always, I've had so many people ask me inside of the live streams, Diewold, where can I get your CVD? And we used to use AGGR, this one over here. Do you guys remember this one? Oof, no, this one is taking forever to load. It's not as quick as ours. Nice. Okay, but you guys remember it doesn't want to load up at the moment. Okay, let me try and yeah, here we go. You guys remember this one? Okay. I've had so many questions from people saying, Diewold, where can I get this? So you can go to AGGR, it's free, but it doesn't look like this. It looks like this. If I have to remove my scripts. Remove. Okay. This is, ooh, no, that is even worse. Okay, remove. I don't actually know how to. Anyways, guys, it doesn't look the way that I've just shown. I'm just going to close it because that thing is so laggy. So now you have it. You have it with the script built in already. That's what I wanted to say. When you go to AGGR, it doesn't look, you don't have the lines. Then I have to send you the scripts. You have to import the scripts. You have to load them up. Now it's already built into the tool. Great. It shows you Binance, all the lines. Okay. The one thing about the AGGR one that I didn't like is it did not have Binance. So I asked the team, I want to see Binance, especially the orange one. I want to see Binance. Now I have Binance, and the reason I wanted Binance is because the most volume in the world is still traded on Binance. So I had Bybit, which I know is a large exchange, but not as big as Binance. But so now I have the two most powerful lines here on the chart from a CVD perspective. There's a little bit of Berry CVD building up against that pivot. Spotting the Berry CVD over there. So now if you want access to these tools, there you go. It's free for now, so take advantage. Okay, it's got fear and greed. It's got the economic calendar that already, by the way, defaults, okay, to high impact news. It automatically defaults to high impact news, which is great. The team is amazing. Whatever suggestions you guys have to make it even better. And it's dark mode. It's great. Because the economic calendar that I used to use does not have dark mode. So at night, when you look at the news, you're like, sun just came up when I looked at the news. But I spend 99% of my time here on CVD. I always have it open. Okay, I constantly look at CVD. I always have it open over here. Unfortunately, I know I'm going to get the question from some people. CVD on TradingView is shit. Unfortunately. So have to use options like these, unfortunately. Okay, so you have to use a separate tool for CVD. It is a real-time indicator. It's not a lagging indicator. No, man, just waiting for that trade. Guys, if you want to do this, you do you at the end of the day. I'm just sharing with you how I approach the markets. This is not how I would trade. Okay. Where a trade like this becomes really interesting, okay, from the low of the structure to the high of the structure, Okay, if let me just clean it up here, guys. I know it looks like an absolute mess, and I think people seeing this live stream for the first time must be thinking, yo, what a dirty kitchen. Okay. Anyways, it looks a little bit better now. When I take a fib from the low to the high of the structure, okay, let me just make the lines thick so everyone can see the lines. These are percentages, which means from the low to the high, this is 23%. That's a 23% pullback from the low to the high. 38%, 50%, 61.8%, 70%. Okay, so basically what it means is that if I want to take a trade like this, the lower price gets, the better for me. So I will only consider a trade like this usually when price comes below 70%, because then I know the risk to reward makes sense. If there's a chance to take the high, I need price to come down lower before I will consider a swing trade like this. If price is up here still, okay, it means that I have a 50-50 chance of a trade. For me, that's not great trading. That's stupid trading for me. The risk reward doesn't make sense. So I like to take these types of trades when price is down here at the 70 levels, because then the risk to reward makes sense. I'm going to potentially make way more than what I'm risking. So I want a discount. If price is here and I'm attempting longs, I use swing failure patterns, or I use a different strategy so that I can have a better stop loss. I want a tighter stop loss. Okay, I'm just sharing with you how I trade. Maybe you have a different strategy. Okay, I'm not saying your strategy is bad. I'm not saying anyone's trading strategy is bad. I'm just sharing with you how I approach the markets. Okay. Man, price needs to take that low. Very interested in that short. Long. Okay. We don't trust guy with no camera. Mr. Willie Free, get back out, dear world. I'm back. I don't see warnings for the moment. I think it's because I switched the gas, my heater off here next to me. Okay, but now I'm freezing. I should have put on some long pants and socks. I'm here in short pants. Okay, it is approaching. How do you determine what is a daily or weekly level? Yeah, I get that question so often, and it's so simple, guys. It really is simple. I'll go through that in a moment. Okay, let me just go through some more comments. What do you think about oil support? I think 67, 65 dollars, I think, is a good area of support. Trap is ready. Let's wait the bears to come. Doesn't it have a lower probability of hitting the highs if we take the 0.7 fib? No, the maximum target is the 786 for a bullish bounce. Okay, so in Elliott wave theory, it states that when you have a move to the upside, okay, and you still want, there's still a potential for explosion back to the upside, okay, in a third wave that can extend 168% of this move, okay, the 786 is the max, is the preferred maximum target. Official invalidation is taking the low. But usually when price finds support over here, okay, it still has a high chance to at least go to 168% of this move, which is the 1.618. Okay, so, but I think what would also be interesting, because I know if price is just going to slice through here, then you start ripping out the big guns. Then you're like, okay, maybe this entire structure is done. Where can it bounce now? Then you have to rip out this fib over here. Okay, then the golden pocket is still very far away. It's where the 0.786 is. Ooh, I numbered this one incorrectly, guys. 0.786. This needs to be that color. Okay, but I'm not even going to include that line because I know it's most probably going to tap to 0.7. Okay, if price starts falling aggressively, people are not even going to look at this FIB pool anymore. They're going to look at this bigger one from the low to the high. Okay, now you can see, oof, nice little confidence here at the 0.5. This daily level is at the 0.7. Just want to see if I have anything else. Naked point of control. The only, yeah, there's nothing else to the downside except that this pocket over here. And then the next level is at the 0.7 Fibonacci. Where I was looking for a short, by the way, guys, I need to analyze this structure. I know I need to get there. I need to analyze this structure here to the downside. Okay. I know that Andy has already provided all the scenarios that could unfold based on this structure from an Elliott wave perspective. The reason I love Elliott wave theory is because it's the only predictive tool that we have. There might be many scenarios, but you can see what can be possible and where the invalidations are for those scenarios. And if price gets there, it presents a trading opportunity, especially if you have other areas of support and resistance, Fibonacci levels, whatever the case might be, clear invalidations. And Andy has already provided all of those lovely scenarios. Okay, he spent a good couple of hours in the community this morning providing all of those scenarios. So if you guys do want access to the community, it's very simple. You can get 2 months for free by using one of the affiliate exchanges down in the description. Okay, it's that simple, guys. 2 months for free. And if you stay active inside of your account, we could extend your access. Okay, go to my command center on Telegram, select start, and I'll send you the instructions on how to join the community. There's the free tools that I've just gone through in a lot of detail if you guys want free tools. So that's basically the links that I have down here. You can either join the community where you get a lot more of myself and Andy and also the coaches. We have an altcoin trader inside of the community. We have Mr. Joan and Joy and Rudy, and I don't want to leave out someone because they're not going to be upset with me, but we have a lot of experienced traders inside of the community as well. Okay, and this is where you join. Yeah, guys, this is now getting boring. It's just chopping up and down, but I do spot me a little bit of bearish CVD. So probabilities for now looks like it wants to take the lows. Can you guys see this? If I go here onto the 3-minute time frame, remember, the smaller the time frame on CVD, the better. You want, okay, let me rephrase. I will not go to the 1 minute. The best time frame for me from a CVD perspective is the 3-minute and 5-minute time frame. Okay, now I can see if I just switch off the noise for everyone so I don't confuse anyone. Okay, I can see bearish CVD building here on Binance. There was a drawing tool over here, but let me just use this one. Okay, so you can see, yeah. Okay, lower low, lower high. Okay, price made higher highs. The target is the low. It took the low. So I can see based on CVD, it keeps on playing out. Based on this high and where price is at the moment, there's bearish CVD building. Okay, even between those two highs, bearish CVD. So I can see that people are aggressively longing in this zone on Binance. So it's a nice indicator to show you what retail is doing, because this is retail. Retail is longing the crap out of this zone on Binance, and the market makers are absorbing the longs because they potentially want to send it down. So it's giving them the liquidity to move price in a certain direction against retail. And this is the only real-time indicator that I trust, because most indicators on TradingView are lagging indicators. And this is a real-time indicator that shows you exactly, for me, it shows me exactly what retail is doing. And I want to trade against retail. I want to trade with the whales. I want to trade with the institutions. I want to trade with the smart money. And this is showing me that retail is longing. Yes, sometimes it does play out because no indicator is perfect. I think CVD is around 70% accurate, 70 to 75% accurate. So it does get invalidated from time to time. But I combine CVD with my trading strategies. I don't trade CVD by itself. It's like the RSI. You need to combine the RSI with a trading strategy. Okay, now price is pushing here to the upside. So if price continues to the upside, by the way, let me share my shorting opportunity. It's simple, guys. You must, okay. Point of control is my shorting opportunity. So if price moves up here, I'm interested in a short at 60, you can call it $65,000. Depending on how price reacts, I want to see that. I think this is such a beautiful example to use. I want to see that. Yeah. If price falls down, I want to see that over here. This is not going to be an easy long because there's so many levels. When you have a single level standing out like a sore thumb, that's the level. It's easier for me, okay, because you know it needs to reject there or it's going to break through. That's it. But when you have so many levels, it becomes a little bit more complicated or a little bit more difficult. Because what could happen is SFP, you get in, get stopped out, get in, get stopped out, get in, get stopped out, and eventually it moves up. But you got stopped out twice before the move happened, and it bounced at the last level to the downside. So for me, I'm a very persistent trader. I can take these two losses and catch that one. And I could potentially even make money with those two stop outs. Okay, with those bounces to the upside, I can make money. And I'm sure the community knows me by now that I can be wrong and still get stopped out with profits. It just depends on how price moves. And, you know, but most of the time, I checked my stats the other day, 78% of the time, when I'm wrong, I still make money or get stopped out at break even. But I still take losses. Any trader does. Okay, it's just about how small you can keep the losses. Right, I just want to check something here. I'm not sure if any one of you watched Matt's live stream yesterday. 7-8 hours, I can't remember exactly. 7-8 hours live stream. That is insane. What a legend. Oh guys, my camera is overheating again, so if it goes off, I'll just give it 5 minutes and I'll switch it back on. Okay. That is legendary. Okay, that is legendary. So maybe what I need to do is, you know, go live on my laptop and take you guys to gym with me. When I go shower, take you guys in the shower with me. When I make lunch or dinner, you know, take you guys with me. When I maybe that will be a fun live stream to take you guys to gym with me. I just want to do something, yeah. Okay. Waiting for this trade. So now what I would like to discuss is a couple of scenarios. Let's go into some scenarios while price is chopping here. I have an alarm at the daily level and I have an alarm just before it hits the point of control. Okay, so maybe I just want to put in, I know it dirties the chart a little bit, but I want to pay attention before the daily level gets hit. So I like to put an alarm above. Okay. Now, is my camera still working? Yes, my camera is still working. Let's go through a couple of scenarios. I just want to clean up everything a little bit over here, switch off the levels. Let's work with a blank piece of paper. What could unfold over here? Okay, what I sometimes like, well, what I always like to do is from the low to the high of the structure, where is the structure from a timing perspective? I take a time flip from the low to the high and I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This low, if this structure is correcting itself, These lows were made after the 0.382. Now that's interesting to me because I know that there's a chance for a bounce to claim those highs because the low was made after the 0.382. That low was made before the 0.382 if you're considering the entire structure to the upside. Okay, so now at least I know from a timing perspective, whichever low gets made wherever, okay, there's an increased probability to take the high because the correction is long enough. Hope that makes sense. Okay, now I want to jump into some scenarios. And let's talk about the most bearish case scenario. Here we go. I drew it out this morning. Please don't pay attention to this mess. Okay, just ignore this mess. But there is a chance. This is the most bearish case scenario where price is forming nested 1-2s to the downside. For those of you that know Elliott wave theory, you know that this can get brutal. Okay, nested 1-2s is basically you form a 1-2. Okay, there's another one over here, and inside of this structure, I can count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count 5 waves to the downside. That's your correction. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and now you basically want price to fall aggressively to the downside without taking this high. Basically without changing market structure. Because if you look at the structure, you have a high, you have a lower high, you have a lower high. It looked like price wanted to change structure there and it just fell to the downside. So you still have lower highs and you have lower lows. And as long as price is forming lower highs and lower lows, the momentum is to the downside. The trend is your friend locally till the end. Okay, so most bearish case scenario is I know which structure I'm looking for. Okay, I basically want to see this. Let me do a polyline. You have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and I want to see a 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Basically that. I want to see a triple top, a triple bottom. I don't know how deep it's going to go, but I know it can get aggressive. But the structure that I'm looking for is I want to see a big dump with increased selling pressure. And then I'll wait for that low to get chopped twice. It needs to chop the low, because there's a double 1-2. It needs to have a triple bottom basically. Okay, and then this is where I'm going to look for longs. Not at this price, but from a structural perspective. That is where I'm going to look for the longs because this dump can get very aggressive. Now let's talk probabilities. I have to talk about the scenario because this is the scenario that caught us off guard. Do you guys remember this? When this happened? Okay. This is what caught us off guard. Or me off guard. I can't say us. This is what caught me off guard. Because there was a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And like, okay, there's the third wave. There's your mess. There's your mess. And then price, it looked like it needed to make a larger 3-wave structure up and then dump. So I was waiting for the 3-wave structure, which never came. It formed a tiny 3-wave structure and it just dumped. Okay, so I just want to be prepared and let everyone know that a price can dump over here in this scenario. Okay, maybe it's a little bit more aggressive. Maybe it does something like this. Okay. Anyways, most bearish case scenario is price basically comes and takes up these lows and even creates new lows at $59,000. The best place to short, unfortunately, this structure was here. And that's the short. And that's why I'm still in this short. And that's also why I took this short yesterday on 2-bit, because I know that this can fall. Okay, I still have the bluff and trade open. I don't have the 2-bit one open. That was just a day trade for me. I'm happy with the profits. Most bearish case scenario, nested 1-2s. But now I need to talk about, quickly, I need to talk about probabilities. Okay, the probabilities that I'm about to discuss, okay, can be invalidated, or can, because you have, look at that 1-2, okay, and look at how big this 1-2 is. Massive compared to this 1-2. Most commonly, what you see is the 1-2s needs to become smaller, and then it dumps. Okay, it almost forms like a diagonal, contracting diagonal. So because this 1-2 is so massive compared to this 1-2, it decreases the probabilities, but it's not invalidated. Can it happen? Yes. Probability not as high as some of the scenarios that I'm about to share. But I just want to make it clear, guys, because I don't want to get the comments that I got the last time. This can happen. The best zone to short is the number 2s. 1-2 short. 1-2 short daily level. So if you're in the short, that was a great area to short. It's really difficult to short over here. There's no levels here to short unless price moves up and taps that naked point of control. Yeah, I think I have that level somewhere in that zone where I've just set my alarm. That could be another opportunity to jump in. Okay. But the best short obviously was from higher up. So from a probability perspective, it doesn't look great. So I need to discuss a couple of other possibilities that could happen over here, and I'm just going to freestyle it. One option is I just want to see A, B, whoops, was not supposed to click, A, B, C, so that becomes an A. Okay, can you guys see? A, B, C, A. Oh, wait. This is a A. And you have a A, B, C, A, B, C, B. You have an A, B, C, and you have an A, B, C, and a B. And then you have your C here to the downside. Okay, I know it becomes complex, but bear with me, guys. Drawing it out, showing you how I do this as well. Now I know. I just want to bring the comments here. Can I see everyone? Who is naughty inside of the chat? What is this bot talking? What is this bot talking? Mr. Mark Dutch, thanks for the moderation. I see there's a little bit of a bot attack here inside of the live stream. Okay. I want to take this out. I just want to make it smaller. It's just easier for me to work with the structures if I don't get distracted. Okay. So I know that an ABC can give me a A and it can give me a W. So let's discuss A first. Because A is a three-wave structure, it means that the 0.9 needs to be tapped to the upside. So from the high to the low of A. And the 0.9 needs to be claimed. Ooh, guys, it's falling. Let me go back here before I go through all the scenarios, because that's the trading scenario that I'm looking for. There we go. Let's see how price reacts here. Let me get my exchange ready. So I'm basically going to get stopped. Most probably I'm going to get stopped out of my long, and then I'll re-enter. Oh, I don't have another exchange open if I don't get stopped out of this one. But what I can do is add a little bit to this position. So what I want to see over here, guys, is I want to see price pierce the level, at least tap it. If it does not tap the level, no trade. If price is below my level, no trade. It needs to pierce it and start trading back above. Okay. I know a swing SFPs looks easy, but they're not. And for those people in the community, they know SFPs look easy, but they're not. They take practice, a lot of practice, and I highly recommend that if you want to make the swing failure strategy, one of the strategies that you want to master, you need to go and back test it. You need to reverse the price, and you need to go and practice the swing failure patterns to see how they play out, how they react. And okay, I can now take this alarm out the way. Don't need this. Come on, delete. There we go. Price is now SFP'd the low. Yeah, it needs to tap at least my daily level. I mean, if it's going to front run, guys, okay, it needs to get acceptance back above this low, because I know there's a lot of people watching this zone. If it's going to front run, it's going to do it, yeah, right, yeah. Oops, let me try this again. If it's going to front run, price needs to start pulling back above this. Let's make it another color, white line, because already swept the lows. Let's see how this unfolds. It tapped the daily. No, not for me. Maybe if guys, if it tapped your daily, then okay, I can't. Yeah, I'm just showing you how I trade. My daily has not been tapped. Is it gonna front run? Is it gonna front run? That would be so frustrating if it's gonna front run, because this is, guys, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, where did you come from? I'm looking for price to pull back like that. Okay, it's now trading back above. That's a valid SFP. Because as price is pulling here up, I can already start taking profits, protect position, take enough to cover fees. But I was waiting for the daily. And sometimes I do miss trades because I'm waiting for a specific level and it doesn't get tapped. And then price runs away. I'm still in my bluff and long. I haven't been stopped out. So if it wants to run, let it, I'll still make money to the upside. But now, I wanted the daily level and maybe I might not get it. But if it gets there, I will have an attempt. Where is the daily level and point of control located? So guys, as price is chopping here, quickly on the daily levels, okay, I switch on these, I smack on these levels with magnets. They are exactly where they need to be. There's my daily level. It's even locked. I even locked it. Okay, there's it. And I snap it on with a magnet. It's exactly where it needs to be so that I know that I didn't have my daily at the wrong place. And oh my God, now I checked and now it got tapped because I had it at the wrong place. No, my daily level is exactly where it needs to be. Well, this could be a little bit of a front running scenario over here. But it's a valid SFP. It's getting acceptance back above the low of this range. So maybe that's the front running that we've just discussed. Some buying pressure kicking in here. Guys, I'm still in the long on bluffing. So if it wants to front run, then it must front run. I will still benefit. What I might do is just add a little bit to that position. I think I'm going to do that. Ever so slightly add to the position. because it could front run over here. I can add a little bit more. I like to add a little bit so it just drags my entry up ever so slightly so that I don't put my trade back into risk. I still want to have my stop loss or my trade protected. Okay, so my trade is still protected. I've just added ever so slightly, but I would like that daily level to get smacked. Okay. Yeah, this is why I don't like the smaller time frames, but each to their own. Okay. So if price comes, I will still attempt the trade. If price comes back down and does that over here, I will attempt the trade. I've added slightly to my bluff position, but my entry is still a little bit further down. Okay, so if I get stopped out, I will re-enter the trade. So let's see. I want to see what CVD is doing. Let's switch on a couple of more lines over here. Well, at least it's not bearish, but it's a little bit neutral at the moment. Is anyone interested in taking this? Is anyone taking this trade, by the way? Just out of curiosity, guys. Remember, you don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just sharing with you how I approach the markets. Tapped on CoinDex. Yeah, I trade the chart in front of me. So if I was trading on this chart, I would have most probably taken the trade. But I trade the chart in front of me. Okay. Yes, I nibbled on it. I nibbled on it. Right. Yes, I'm in. Yes, I take it. There's a chance for a bounce here, guys. It could be a front running because I know there's a lot of eyes on these levels. Let me just switch on the weekly levels as well. And if you know how to take them properly, if you know how to take these trades properly, this trade, even if you get stopped out, you should get stopped out with profits. If you're experienced. Because price pushed to the upside. Okay. So basically, you enter. Okay. Maybe you're a little bit late. Maybe you entered a little bit higher. Stop goes below the low. And as price pushes here to the upside, look, it's already 1.78 risk to reward. It was already almost a 2 risk to 1.89. I start taking profits. Okay. Cover my fees. I then de-risk my position. So if I get stopped out, I get stopped out with the profits that I took here to the upside. So it's just about how you manage, because I'm so super focused on my risk, guys. I'm super focused on my risk. Okay, I want to be wrong and get stopped out with profits. That's my priority. So depending on how you manage this trade, you're either going to take a loss, break even, or get stopped out with profits. And it takes, I don't know why this thing keeps on popping up here. Okay. It takes experience to get to the phase where when you're wrong, you keep on getting stopped out with profits. And then sometimes you do get that small little loss. Okay. And then there's different styles in which to trade this as well. Sometimes people will give it a bigger stop loss. Okay, but now anyways, it's getting to my daily level. So I'm getting interested now. If it takes the daily level and does what I've just explained, just getting some stuff ready here. Sorry if I'm not being chatty, but I'm focused at the moment. Come on, just take the daily level. Now you're getting acceptance back above. I'm with you, Devold. I took it. I took it. You guys are, what's the word? Degens. For me, based on 1 minute's structure, it was not SFP or bullish. Not SFP or bullish. Now, I like to stick to the 15-minute time frame. I know some people, when they play SFPs, they go to the 1 minute, 5-minute time frame. I prefer to stick to the 15-minute. It's my favorite time frame to trade. Yesterday, I took the front run. Today, I'm waiting. Rudy, you got into a very good trade. That front, I was waiting for the 786 and the naked point of control, just like I'm waiting now for the daily. And it front run, and Rudy told everyone, I got into the trade. I knew there was a possibility to front run, and it just rampaged to the upside. So well done, Rudy. Okay. And Rudy basically did it from an Elliott wave count perspective. Great trade, Rudy. Really well done. But I'm with you. I want my level to get hit here. I'm not going to entertain this trade if my level doesn't get hit. Sometimes maybe you just, you feel it in your bones. I don't know if you feel it in your bones. It's going to front run. It's going to front run. But this one, I want my level to get tapped. Come on. You can do it, Bitcoin. You can do it. There we go. It tapped the daily level. Let me see. I just wanted to pull back a little bit more so I can. Well, my fees are already covered. Great. Yeah, I think what makes this one a little bit more tricky, guys, is the fact that we have another 2 levels here. So it could pull back and it can chop it again, and it can pull back and it can chop it again. It's not easy when you have so many levels. But I basically treat them as 3 separate levels, and I will execute my strategy at each level. That's what I basically do. Okay. So I don't have to take profits to cover my fees, because my fees are already covered because I longed from lower down. So I've just now, dragged my entry up a little bit. But my stop loss is literally here at the weekly naked point of control. Okay, my stop loss is literally over here. So if it pulls down, it will stop me out. And if I see that reaction over here, I will attempt to trade again. But price has now pulled back far enough for me, if I wasn't in the long, to cover my fees and a portion of my stop loss. I think there's a good liquidity. I just wanted to, let's see if we can quickly just open this up. Yeah, there's still a, can you guys see this? Where's my other screen? Okay, I might have to do this. Can you guys see that there's still a bunch of liquidity that can be grabbed? They're at the weekly level, naked point of control. So there's a chance for a little bit of a deeper grab all the liquidity before price reverses back up. So I don't use liquidity to trade with. It's just interesting to see that there's still a pool of liquidity to the downside that needs to be grabbed. I actually prefer mode 2, and you can see it's already dipped into the liquidity. Okay. It doesn't have to grab all of it. We've all seen that before, especially the people that's in the community. We've all seen it. It just scratches the top of the liquidity and it reverses. It doesn't have to do it. But basically, if price takes that weekly level at 60, $3,000, 300. I think then most of that liquidity is gone. Price has pulled back pretty far. This should be a free, depending on how you manage your trade, this should be a free trade by now. For me, okay, this would be a free trade for me. Guys, remember to smash up that like button if you guys do enjoy the education. For those of you that are new here, subscribe for future notifications, smash up that like. And I was doing a couple of Elliott wave scenarios. I just started, and then price came to an area of interest where I can execute my swing failure strategy, because I do get a lot of questions from people asking me, how did you catch that low, or how did you catch that high while it's using this strategy? But it takes practice, guys. It really takes practice. Okay, it looks easy when I explain it, but it takes practice. You need to do 1,000 of them, and then they become easier. I have done many of them, many. And then there's those times where you enter the SFP, and as soon as you enter it, you get stopped out. You're just like, ugh. That happens as well. Okay, you just can't win all of them. So I think we're going to just park a little bit here on this price action and see what happens here, because this is now interesting. Guys, remember what you can do is once you've entered your trade and you've managed your position, okay, you set your stop loss, taking your profits to cover your fees. You know, why not walk away from the chart? Close your computer. That's what I used to do in the beginning, because sometimes you stare at the candles and you do things to your trade that you're not supposed to do, because you're watching that candle. It's going to dump. Okay, let me take more profits. Oh, crap. Look at this guy going. Let me add a little bit more to the position. And before you know it, you've stuffed up your whole trade and your entry is all cockeyed, and you've basically, okay, you made nothing. Okay. Sometimes it's better to walk away from a trade or just let it play out. Let it play out. When I can entry? When can I? Ooh, okay, if you're asking me when can you enter, that's up to you as a technical trader. I've explained to you how I would do this. I'm not going to tell anyone to enter a trade over here, because that's not what I do. Okay, I practice every day, and it's better and better. Thank you, D. This method is great as it easily get mechanical. Yeah, the swing failure patterns takes practice. They look easy, but they're not easy. Okay, the D-line strategy is way easier. You're a great teacher. I just found your channel. Cool, man. Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm not going through a lot of education now and showing the structures on what can unfold and where Bitcoin can go, because I'm watching this price action. I think this is the most interesting at the moment. And if I get stopped, because I am in the trade at the moment, if I get stopped out, I'm eyeing the next level. Okay. The liquidity is everything. They hunt everyone's stop losses once they take it. And yeah, I agree. Liquidity is everything. Liquidity drives the market at the end of the day. The only thing I was trying to highlight by that liquidity is that it doesn't have to take all of it, because I've seen price turn around halfway through the liquidity and it moves in a different direction. I've seen that happen. It's just interesting to know for me that there's still a lot of liquidity here, which means that price could slice through, then get the bounce after it's grabbed all of the liquidity. It doesn't have to. I don't trade liquidity. I execute my trading strategy. Yeah, right. Small budget to work with. How can I approach this type of trade as it may barely cover the fees for? If you do this properly, it doesn't matter how big your position size is or how small or big your account is. If you trade this properly and you've done it 1,000 times, you'll know exactly when to take profits to cover fees, protect position, take profits to cover your stop loss, depending on where you entered. Okay. Please don't be misguided by, I have a small account, so I need to enter with more money, a higher leverage. Because remember, the bigger the position size, the higher the fees, then you won't be able to cover your fees. Okay, there took, oh, I think I got stopped out. Now I'm looking for the next level. Got stopped out with quite a decent amount of profits because this was a long that I was in from lower down. So profits got added to my account. Now I'm looking for a fresh long because I am still in the short. So I have a nice little hedge running here at the moment. Am I on the 15-minute? Yes. I don't like it when the body of a candle closes below a level. So I'm going to jump to the 1 hour. So just quickly wanted to show everyone that wait. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't like that the body closed below the daily. It usually increases probabilities that price is going to not respect the daily level anymore. It's going to continue down. But just to show everyone, I am still in my short. So I have a hedge. So I can have a couple of attempts here and my hedge will pay my stop loss if I have a stop loss. Okay, so I'm now looking for the long together with everyone here. Okay, just, well, sorry, let me not say together with everyone. I am looking for a long. I can only share with you how I approach the markets. Okay. But I know that there's a lot of people eyeing this zone. Remember what I said in the beginning of the live stream. This can get brutal where it just slices through because there's a lot of people eyeing this zone. And I think the reason price is chopping up and down like this because there's limit orders kicking in, stop losses, you know, everyone's trying to enter this zone. So I can attempt the longs over here with great risk management and get stopped out with a small loss if I'm wrong, hopefully with a win, with a little bit of profits. So as long as price is below my area of interest, I'm not interested in a trade. So now I wait. Okay, now I wait. No trade. No trade. Not for me. No trade for me. No trade. If you're trying to snipe the bottom here, good luck. That's not a trade for me. Because where do you put your stop loss? I need price to pull back so that I know where to put my stop loss. If you're trying to catch that little low, I don't know who you're trying to impress because it could literally waterfall to the downside. Then what? This is fun. Yeah, guys, and this is basically rinse and repeat. You know, I stay at my levels while I'm trading, and then, you know, I do what I did just now. The best attempt was there at the daily level. That was a nice little reaction. But price basically just sliced through these two levels. So I'm not really interested at the moment unless it pulls back. Okay, it needs to pull back above the weekly. Then I will execute the trade. But as long as it's below, I'm not interested. I just want to, I don't know why this keeps on popping up. I just want to make sure that I have my levels here to the downside. Okay, remember we prepared the plan here to the downside as well. I don't know what that is. Take that out. Ooh. 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 That was most probably a massive limit order that kicked in. Or someone entering a massive position, and then, you know, it kicks price to the upside and then price pushes down again. But that's basically what I want to see, guys. You know, this is typically how I would execute a SFP, is that price is now above my area of interest. Now I know where to put my stop loss. This is a long week, so, you know, usually I will just go in with way less capital. So let's see how this unfolds. Okay. The only other level to the downside is $62,662. Okay. I have not taken a loss today. My rules, my trading rules state that I'm allowed to take 2 losses. After the second loss, I don't trade for the rest of the day. So I haven't taken any losses. So if I get stopped out here, that will be my first loss for today, and then I can have another attempt, and then I'm done. At least I still have the short paying me here to the downside. Is my camera still on? Yes. Right, legends, we have not had even time to go through all the scenarios that could unfold over here. We just, you know, very interested to see how price is going to react here. But what I'm going to do is, I need a bathroom break again, because I've been drinking a lot of water and I've been here sitting inside of the stream. So I'm going to, I hope I don't get stopped out while I go to the bathroom. And because that will be my first loss for the day. But limit orders are kicking. People are entering here like crazy. I can see it. I wouldn't be surprised if we have berry CVD. Yeah, we have berry CVD. There's a lot of people entering this level. Look at Binance, guys. Binance people are going absolute bonkers. Okay, when price, let me see if you guys can see me. Okay, when price does those little jumps to the upside, those are people with massive orders entering. Okay, and I can see it. It's bearish. This is bearish. You can see against all of these highs, okay, it's now forming bearish price action, which means that even with a little pump, it can continue down. But even with that little pump, I can take enough profits to cover my position so that if I'm wrong, I don't lose cash. So it's not to say that it can't bounce. It just means that it can bounce and continue down. And I just want to make sure that I take enough profits with the bounce. If not, if it falls from here, it is what it is. But I need a bathroom break, guys. I need a little bit of a bathroom break. So I'll be back. I'm just going to put the comments here on the screen, give you guys some music to listen to. I'll be back. Oops. Click on the wrong buttons over here. I need to bring these things back. Okay, here we go.
From volatility comes victory. Market screaming, headlines full of doubt. I zoom out, that's how kings are mapped out. Short-term noise can't shake my core. I've seen 3 cycles, I've survived the war. They want signals, I want strategy. They want fast, I want mastery. Charts don't lie, emotions do. That's why most fall and a few break through.
Stand your ground through the crash, through the sound. Crown don't drop when the price goes down. Bitcoin wears it world renowned. Hold on, fold, stand your ground through the crash, through the sound. Crown
creates precision.
Hold on, folks, stand your ground. Through the crash, through the sound. Crown don't drop when the price goes down. Bitcoin wears it world renowned. Hold on, folks, stand your ground. Through the crash, through the sound. Crown don't drop when the price goes down. Bitcoin wears it world renowned.
Bear market forge, pressure test separates noise from the best of the best. Paper hands exit, stories get thin. Builders stay, that's where kings begin. No hype trades, no hero calls. Just structured plays and protocol walls. Stack the edge, repeat the plan. That's how empires expand. Time and market beats the chase. Patience always wins the race. While they sprint, I architect. Slow precision earns respect. Zoom out, see the frame. Every cycle, same old game. Fear and greed, repeat the song. Only the disagreeing last long.
Whispers turn to future shock. Doubt turns into afterstock. History favors those who stay when others choose to run away.
So my daughter caught me on my way to the bathroom and said, "Daddy, you have to wear this." Although I don't really support this team, but I am from South Africa. Okay, I am a Portugal supporter, by the way, but I am wearing my South African attire because my daughter told me to put it on. That's my disclaimer. Best pee break ever. Right. What is this song called? My brother made it. My brother is a music producer. He made me this song. Guys, I would be very surprised if it bounces here. I mean, it is following the rules of my strategy. Okay, let me just take this off. Okay, it is following the rules of my strategy. There's massive berry CVD building up. Okay, you guys can see retail's longing the shit out of this. Okay, I don't like it. So I will be aggressive with profit taking here to the upside. Protect, cover my stop loss, de-risk. It can bounce. Anything's possible. CVD can get invalidated. I just don't like that everyone is longing this level at the moment. I don't like it. But it's following the rules of my strategy. It's above my level. That's how I execute the trade. It's worth a shot. If you are nervous and you are sweating and your Fifinolike is doing this, you've risked too much money. So be careful. Okay, it's just... Guys, I've just learned this the hard way. If you are nervous about a trade and you are staring at the screen and sweating and you can't sleep at night, but the trade is still running, I've risked too much. I will de-risk my position. I'll take some out. Okay. I just want to see something here. This... fuck, I need to work it out. This trade, for me, okay, let's do this. This trade for me is a let's say $2,500 stop loss. Okay. I just want to work it out. Yeah, guys, it's like a 0.1. It's like a 0.1% stop loss for me of my portfolio. It's not even 1%. 1% stop loss for me is $15,000. Maybe it's $14,000 now because I transferred some money in 2 weeks. So you guys can see I did not even go in with 1% over here. Okay, I am being responsible. I'm not going crazy, and there's now a good chance I'm going to get stopped out. $2,500, which is less than 1% of my portfolio. Way less. Okay, I don't like the berry CVD at the moment, so Let's see how price is now below the weekly level, which is not great. No, that's not great. So now I'm watching the next level. So remember, if I get stopped out here, I will take a loss, which is my first loss that I'm allowed to take as a technical trader. So I can try again. If I get stopped out again with a loss, I'm not allowed to trade for the rest of the day. That's my rules, and I respect my rules. I always follow my rules. Okay. Devil, do you have any infip level you're eyeing for a potential long entry? Yes, the next level to the downside is the 0.7. Together with that little pivot. Okay, did I get stopped out? It's holding on by a thread. It's holding on by a thread. I like this little pivot. This little pivot. I like this little pivot for an SFP. Now price is getting upwards momentum again, but some FIP levels that are interesting to the upside or to the downside is a WXY. So let me quickly put that in. So I was busy explaining the scenario. WX, and it could be forming an ABC to the downside. I think C needs a little bit more momentum, but let's see. Okay, let's get the targets. Oh, look at that 1.382. That's definitely worth an attempt for me. Okay, so if I look at all these levels, so basically what I'm looking at over here is a W, X, and an A, B, C, and a Y. Yes, there's daily and weekly levels here, but there's no Fibonacci levels. The one-to-one extension did get a reaction. Nice bounce here to the upside this morning. I saw that this morning at the one-to-one extension. So from a Fibonacci perspective, this one and this one looks really interesting. So if this is a B, and maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it has to finish with a C. It has to finish with a 5-wave structure. And the problem that I see at the moment, and I wanted to get to this, okay, is that I only see a 3-wave structure unless B ended over there, and this is a tiny little C here to the downside. But the most interesting level is the 1.382, the 1.618. It's a pity that price didn't bounce high enough so I can take some profits. I was, just a little bit of a bounce to the upside would have been great, just to at least take profits to cover fees and so forth. Remember guys, myself and Andy do provide daily technical analysis inside of the community. I see Andy is posting some updates, and I spent the whole day yesterday in the community. Andy's spending his day today in the community. Tomorrow I will be inside of the community. I won't do a YouTube live stream. Okay, maybe I'll do a private live stream for the community members tomorrow. If you guys want to be part of our community, link is down in the description. Okay, go to my command center on Telegram. There's the link. Select start and I'll send you the instructions on how you can get 2 months free access into the community by using one of the affiliate partners down below and making a minimum deposit, which is your money to trade with. Withdraw, whatever you want to do. Okay. Did you long? Did I get stopped? I got stopped out, so no, I'm still in my short, which is luckily hedging here against the long that I'm looking for. Okay, guys, remember the most bearish case scenario. The nested 1-2s to the downside. That is why I trade with stop losses. I would take the knock any day than be underwater over here. Okay, I don't want to be underwater over here if price just falls to the downside. I used to get wrecked like this. Not anymore. I can take a loss. I can take 2 losses. Hell, I can even take 3 losses. But liquidate an account, it won't happen. I will not liquidate an account. I've learned my lesson the hard ways. I have liquidated many accounts in the past. I don't liquidate even a position. I don't even liquidate a position. Okay, I would take a stop loss any day before I liquidate a position or my account. Right. Tomorrow I'll make back all that money, because I remember there was a trade that I took 2 weeks ago. Took $1,000 loss, and then the next day $8,000 profit. So I made it back. I know there's always another trade around the corner. So if I miss it, I miss it. If it looks good, but I must say this level looks really great. If price can just continue here to, I mean, it can get an SFP here from the 1.382, which is basically an SFP from that pivot. Guys, I don't know if the music is too loud. I just want to make sure. Yeah, let me do that. There we go. That should be better. I'm sure. I'm sorry if that music was a little bit too loud, but here we go. Right. Check AVWAP from the macro low. I actually did check that this morning, but I think we smashed it already, if I'm not mistaken. Depending on which exchange you use to do your analysis. I like to use the magnet for this one. I want to get it exactly at the low. No, it's currently below the VWAP. It's just so many levels. So legends, I am not interested in any of these levels anymore. Okay, so now I will take them out. I don't need them. They've smashed through all those levels. And remember what we said during what I said during the beginning of the live stream. We're either going to front run or we're going to smash through. Price is smashing through. I took a knock. Yes, I took a $2,500 knock. Got stopped out of my long that I was in from lower down with some decent profits. I'm still in my short. So now I wait. I have one more try for today. One more try. Okay, and I will execute it with precision. I don't know if I want to take this one, because that still looks like a three-way structure to me. Yeah, go. Go to the downside. I'm already in Matt's group. How do I get accepted into you and Andy's group? You can go to my command center and follow the instructions. Select start, just follow the instructions. If you are inside of Matt's group already, you can just follow the instructions. You should get access. Okay, like I said, guys, there's many ways to get into the community. So if you are inside of Matt's group, you can just go to my command center. Yeah, on Telegram. Click start and follow the instructions. Okay. I want to drag my exchange back on this side in case I need to enter another trade. There we go. So the most interesting level here is the 1.382. That to me is the most interesting level. What I would like to see, because I think what could happen here is that if price just moves down, yes, that could be a nice SFP. Can get some nice momentum. Maybe it even backtests this little VWAP. Okay, it could get nice. But I think there's a chance that it does it again. Because if this is a 1, 2, 3, it still needs a 4 and a 5. Or price slows down now, and then the fifth wave taps that level. I don't know what price wants to do. So I can definitely take advantage of the fourth wave. Just going to manage my risk like a king and take profits. Okay, leave a runner as always. Or price continues to slice and it does it at this level. But I know from experience that the 1.382 and the 0.7 Fibonacci usually gets usually gets a nice reaction, even if it's just that 3, 4, 5. Because what I do see here to the downside, based on this scenario, if this is a W, okay, X, and this is a B, okay, because this could be 1 A B C, correction ended there, running flat, and this is a 1 2 3 4 5. It can make a double bottom, easy, it can, but I can still take advantage of that from a day trading perspective. So I just want to see how it's going to react at this level here to the downside. I can just imagine, okay, and this is why I love the strategy that I use. I can just imagine the people that entered here with their limit orders are sweating. They are sweating and most probably being liquidated at the moment. Okay, this is why I don't trade with limit orders unless you know what you're doing. But they are sweating. I could have drawn that. I should have actually used magnets. This 1.382 can actually be, guys. This is why it's so important to have your levels ready with magnets. Okay, get this one magnetized. That one is fine. Let's see. Did it get tapped? Is it? Oh man. Let's do that. No, it did not get tapped. It did get tapped. The 0.382 did get tapped. That's why it's important to use magnets, because mine was a little bit lower because I just freestyled it. Okay, but I would like to see a nice little wick left behind. I would like to see that. I would like to see a little wick. Let me just take the drawing tools here out of my. Would be nice to see a little bit of a wick. But I mean, it's valid. It's tapped the level. Okay, so an education session today turned into a little scalping session, I suppose. Sniping. Do you have smelly fingers? I can't stress enough how important risk management is. It's because if people got in here with half of their portfolios at 20-50x leverage, you took some damage over here. Not nice. Really not nice. Okay, but these people that longed over here in this zone are now scared out of their trades, and that's what I wanted to see. I wanted people to get scared out of their trades. What I do like to see here is that price is making lower volume, which means the bears could be running out of steam. Okay, this VWAP, anchored VWAP, did absolutely nothing. Can definitely offer resistance when price comes back. Just want to take this out. Let's see, those two levels, by the way, guys, these two levels did get tapped. Okay. I entered a small little position, way smaller than the previous one. But what I would like to see is, I would like price to leave a wick behind. It doesn't always give you what you want, because people trading swing failure patterns are waiting for the wick, and sometimes it literally just taps the level and it goes. Okay, it literally just taps the level and it goes. So depends on how you want to trade this. What I will sometimes do is, depending on my risk appetite and how much I want to risk for the trade, what I can do is, where's the, okay, long. So let's say I enter here in this zone. I'm targeting the highs, okay? Definitely a resistance area to the upside. I can decide as a technical trader, how much do I want to risk for this trade from a stop loss perspective, so that I don't get wicked out of this position. So let's say I want to risk 1% for this trade. There, exactly. I want to risk a 1% stop loss. I'm just giving you guys an example, because sometimes it's easier to trade it like this, is to say that I have an area of interest, and if price wicks and chops in this area, I don't want to get stopped out of my trade. But I'm prepared to risk 1%, which equals whatever amount for my portfolio. Okay, so that's another way to trade it. I know Andy likes to trade like this. You will sometimes give his stop loss, he calls it breathing room. Give it some room to breathe. Okay, I'm a very persistent trader. I have a slightly different style. I will get stopped out multiple times, okay, and still enter depending on whether I took a loss or not. So there's no right or wrong. You need to find the rhythm that works for you. My rhythm is, I know I'm a persistent trader. I can enter multiple times and then catch the moves. That's my style of trading. But also depending on the level, if it's a great level where price is getting a reaction, sometimes I will say, okay, I'm happy with a 0.5% stop loss. So I'm gonna give this level a chance. I don't want to get wicked out of the position, okay? Because maybe it does that. Right. So you could, as a technical trader, make a decision to say that, well, how much are you willing to risk for this trade? And depending on how much you're willing to risk, you then put your stop loss where it needs to be. Risk management, guys. Risk management, risk management, risk management. Because I can tell you guys now, this little dump here has most probably liquidated a couple of people. Maybe, hopefully not in this stream or in our community, because we practice great risk management. But it's the risk management that keeps us in the game. Because I can be wrong and still make money when I catch that trade. I make back all my money that I've lost with my stop loss, plus profits in the bag. Okay, but it would be nice to get a little bit of a wick there to the downside. Just grab that liquidity and then move back up. Obviously, the next level to the downside, okay, if I do get stopped out of this position, is the 1.618. We all know how sexy the 1.618 is. Well, I know how sexy it is. And from my back testing, I mean, I've done a video or a live stream. I've done a live stream where I've showed everyone how many times this level got respected. It's unbelievable. Okay, it's such a powerful level. But for the moment, if this is your 5 wave, if this is your 1, 2, and now it's falling, in your 3rd wave, you still expect that again. So maybe it bounces, okay? I will take profits, guys, and I'll protect my position, and it does that again. You get your double bottom because of that. Because if this is a C wave to the downside, it has to have 5 waves. Can't be a 3-wave structure. So there's a chance that it could chop, 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 and it takes the low again. And that is if the 3rd wave is finished, because the 3rd waves can get very aggressive. It's still busy with the 3rd wave. Volume is still increasing. So what could happen here is 1, 2, it can just continue with its third wave until it's done. We don't know where the third wave is going to end. Okay, most commonly it ends at the 1.618. So we can go measure that. So from the high to the low, you see guys, I've got my magnets on now. It's already past the 1.618. It's past the 2 extension. So next level is the 2.618. But third waves can get really ugly very quickly. They carry the most amount of volume. They are basically the wave that liquidates people or gives you a lot of money if you are in the right side of the move. So let's see if this plays out. Guys, remember to smash up that like button. And I want to see what's going on here in the community. See, Andy is giving some updates here in the community as well. Just want to see what's happening here in the chat section. Remember guys, if you do want to be part of the community, okay, first link down in the description. Send me or go to my Telegram command center and select start, and I'll send you the instructions on how you can join the community. Okay, now that's what I want to see. I want price to dip below, but now it needs to pull back. It needs to pull back. If it doesn't, next level. Where's my exchange? Oh, here we go. Come on, give us the pullback. We've been asking for the pullback. Still not pulling back. Okay. Are you guys feeling bullish? Are you feeling bearish? Do you think it's going to bounce? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, because this is the only trading strategy that I'm aware of where I can catch a falling knife successfully. I can be wrong a couple of times, but I can tell you when I catch it and it turns around, it pays back my stop losses. Happened many times. This short that Andy highlighted last night in his live stream, this daily level short, I mean, if you are still in that position, congratulations. This short, because that was a beautiful SFP. If you caught that short, now you've got a hedge against your long, looking for that long. You know, it can help with the fees and a stop loss, 1 or 2, a stop loss as well. Because catching a bottom is not easy, catching the top is not easy, but if you have a strategy that you can do it responsibly, that's great. Okay. Very bearish. I'm a bullish bear. I love it. Pas Maria, I love that. I also like to say that. Okay. Waiting for the bounce. Yes, price is below my area of interest. Well, it's below the area of interest. It needs to pull back and leave a wick behind. That's where it becomes interesting. Okay, it got a nice little reaction. I did enter a trade there, but I gave my stop loss a little bit of breathing room. It's even a smaller position than the previous one I've entered. Guys, I don't get larger, you know, and that's the mistake I used to make as when I started out. I took a loss and then the next position becomes a little bit bigger, or the leverage becomes higher because now I want to claw back that loss and make profits. No, I do the opposite now. If I get stopped out, the next trade is a little bit smaller. If I get stopped out again, I don't trade for the rest of the day, but then tomorrow the trade becomes even smaller. I do the opposite, okay? I do the opposite now. Price needs to pull back, but I mean the 786 with a 1.618, oof, that is a nice level. But it has a chance for a bounce here. Let's see. It just needs to pull back. And this is why, because I've seen some people do it. They have a level of interest, and there they are trying to enter. Where are you putting your stop loss? How are you managing your risk like that? Okay, because price could just whoop, slice through it, just like it did. Yeah, it's been slicing. So if you've been trying to, and that's what I call smelly fingers. You're doing it irresponsibly. You keep on adding, and then at some point you have nothing left, and then you get liquidated. I've been there. I've done it. I know the pain. Okay, I can really honestly tell you that been there, done it. It's not pretty. I would rather take the stop loss and wait for next trading opportunity. Okay, because where do you put your stop loss here? Trying to sniff out this little bottom. Remember the nested 1-2 guys. It can capitulate to the downside. Okay. Trying to catch this little bottom is not easy, but I can do it responsibly. So maybe I'll take 2 losses today, and tomorrow I'll catch a trade that pays it back. But if I take a loss now again with this trade, I'm not allowed to trade for the rest of the day. That's my rule. That's what protects me, because it's usually by the 3rd trade where the revenge trading starts to kick in. And remember, guys, I'm also human. I have emotions, even as a seasoned trader. Okay. No, I'd rather go to bed and wake up with a fresh mindset and follow my rules tomorrow if I get stopped out of this trade. You're talking about higher, and that is basically if the nested 1-2s play out. 57k, yes. I would say 57 to 54k is a good zone for me to look for along. If price takes the lows again, on the bigger structure, 4-hour, 8-hour structure, yes. Didn't enter this long. Looks like it's smashing the level. We're looking at 62k. Yes, 62k does look like the next interesting level. The 0.786, 1.618 does look really interesting. For now, I just want to see here on the higher time frame if volume is increasing. So it's definitely a 3rd wave here to the downside. Volume is increasing. So, okay, if you do not know what you are doing, you need to be very careful. Let's not forget that the overall direction is down. Yes, from a macro perspective, definitely. We are still in a bear market. Okay, so while price is chopping here to the downside, I want to show you guys this scenario. Okay, I'm just cleaning up the kitchen here quickly. Let's go to, 1 hour should be fine. Can take that out the way. Okay, I want to show you guys this scenario. If I can find it, it should be here. Daily levels, most bearish. I want to show you guys this scenario. It's still intact. Price has formed a 1-2. Okay, 3 is either still busy, where you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it creates another 4, 5. This can get ugly. Alternative scenario is this. It makes one more low. So the only difference between the 2 scenarios is that the most bearish case scenario is price makes a double bottom. This scenario is price literally makes one more low in a 1, 2, 3, 4 rejected inside of the orange box where it's supposed to reject, and it falls to the downside and makes a new low. So that nested 1-2's definitely a chance that it could play out, but price can make a larger bounce and invalidate the structure, or maybe come here to the 50%, then fall to the downside. Right, so I just wanted to, just give some context in terms of what could still play out over here. The structure could still be busy to the downside. Fourth wave has not been invalidated. There's the invalidation for the fourth wave. It's not invalidated. Price can still come down here. Okay. The scenario that does not look great here on the 15-minute time frame was the nested 1-2s that I discussed. Did it SFP those lows? Ooh, where's my levels? That's a nice little SFP over there. Not at a Fibonacci level, but I love price action. Show me those levels. Now a little bit in the middle of nowhere. There's no Fibonacci support over there. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys how ugly this could get, because this could be a 1-2, 1-2. Okay. And now it's falling here in a third wave. And then it goes 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. Okay, it creates the mess again. Does that. Volume is starting to increase. That's the most bearish case scenario, is that this fourth wave is done. Okay. Luckily, I'm still in the short with some nice profits at the moment. And I think I'm going to take a little bit just now if we hit that 1.618. That short was shared inside of the community. The short that the short that I'm in. Okay. Guys, I know that we're looking for longs, okay, but this is the great thing about being hedged, is that I'm still printing money here to the downside from the short that I'm in. Great. Okay, so I can look for longs responsibly because I still have that short that's hedging. I had an amazing long here to the upside all the way. I had a long over here, rode it all the way here to the upside, kept on taking profits, and then eventually I moved my entry because I said for the bulls to stay in control, market structure should not change. And if you take that low, price could go down further. So it stopped me out of my long, but I'm still in the short. So now, naturally, I'm looking for a long because I know that there's a chance that price could bounce. There's a chance. Something else that I wanted to see is this thing needs to stay on the screen. It keeps on jumping back to the screen. This could be forming the first fourth wave. But man, I'm not sure if anyone caught that. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. But I like my FIB levels to get hit. This SFP, what a beautiful SFP from this pivot. Okay, look at how it smacked it and now it's getting a bounce to the upside. So what this could mean is that if this is a 1, 2, 3, maybe it's now starting to build the fourth wave. Okay, and then ka-ching. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Okay. If I'm not sleeping. Okay. I took it. Well done, Nightwalker. I mean, if you took that SFP, let me see. If you took this SFP, now, it should already be a 2 risk to reward trade. So where price is now, where the wick is, it's already a 2 risk to reward trade. Beautiful. Scratch on dollars, de-risk position, leave some open. I can't tell you how you need to manage your trade. I know how I would have played this if I was paying attention. But the 1.618 looks really interesting. Okay. I might miss this long, okay? I don't know what's going to happen over here, but I'm patient, guys. I know I will catch it at some point. I will catch it. I wanted to see this. When I take a fib from the low to the high, did it tap the 0.618? That explains it. Let's make these lines solid. It tapped the 0.618. No, it didn't. Didn't tap the 0.618. It's almost there. Okay, but you have the 0.618. It's more or less where price is getting the reaction at the moment. But remember, price needs to, well, there's a high probability that price needs to form a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, you get the choppiness, 5. Okay, however deep that 5 is going to go, I don't know. It can be there, it can be at the 7, it could literally just SFP the low. Okay, I'll be ready for it, and I'll let the community know if I do jump into that long. I unfortunately missed this SFP. Is what it is, and I don't FOMO into trades. If it's done most of the running to the upside, I will not FOMO into a trade. I've missed it. It's okay. There's always another way to get back in. Right, it's just no confluence. Oh, wait, before I say there's no confluence, did I miss the daily level? No, the daily level is further down. Yeah, it's no confluence there for me to take a trade. I missed the SFP from that low. Nice little scalp. Nice little scalp. Volume is increasing, so there's a chance it could take the lows again. Remember, guys, I will share if I do enter a fresh trade based on the structure that unfolds. I will let the community know. Andy will let the community know. We'll basically update the community, because I can't be on YouTube forever. Okay, I've got other things to do as well, like looking after the community. And the link is down in the description. Okay, if you want to join our community, go to my command center and select start on Telegram. And I'll send you the instructions on how you can join. Because that is where the action happens. Okay, when I'm not here on YouTube. And I'll see if I have time for a private live stream tomorrow with the community. The dark side of trading. Okay. That is where I plan to take my 2-bit account and go a little bit aggressive. And it's either going to be a great account after a month or two, or it's going to be a horrible account. We'll see how that goes. People longing like crazy on Binance. Again, the CVD. Oh, CVD is still melting here to the upside, guys. You know, it's such a good clue to see if price is still going to chop to the downside. So that SFP that just happened, that's what I wanted to happen at that 1.382. And at that weekly level, get enough momentum to the upside even when you see the bearish CVD, so that you can still make money, be wrong, and get stopped out with profits. I didn't get the bounce, so I took the knock. But this, ladies and gentlemen, people are longing. This is why I love this indicator. Retail is longing like crazy. It shows me dumb money is longing. I want to trade with the smart money. So I'm going to wait until this line falls back down, showing me that people are getting tired of longing. They've been liquidated. They took too many stop losses. They're going to bed. They don't care anymore. I've tried. I kept on getting stopped out. Keep on blowing a hole in my account. And once that line turns around and it falls to the downside, then I know they are getting tired. They've given up. And once everyone has given up, which is retail, once everyone's given up, that's where I jump in. Okay. Lionel? No, man. No. Why? Why? I spent hours and... Sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's not nice what you're going through. Okay, I don't want to preach to you. Just take a breather. Don't trade for at least a month, a week. Go and process the emotions. Okay, it's just it's frustrating to me because I spent hours and hours teaching people risk management. It's not nice to see a message like this. Okay, it's exactly what I'm trying to prevent, is people getting liquidated. I got stopped out twice today, and I still didn't lose 1% of my portfolio. It happens, guys. The best traders in the world get stopped out. It's your risk management that keeps you in the game so that you can live to trade another day. Shit, man. Sorry to hear that, Mr. Lionel. Sorry, man. Okay, and this is exactly the reason I hammer on risk management. Hammer, 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 hammer. You know, and I love that saying, and the community knows this about me already, is I love that saying to say that, guys, do not focus on money. Money should never be the goal. Risk management should be the goal. I think I published a short this morning exactly about this. I don't care how much money I'm going to make. I focus on my risk management. After my risk management is in place, I've covered my fees, I've covered my stop loss, I've taken some profits, okay? Then I'm like, okay, where else can I take profits? Where else can I take profits? No, man. Oh, man. How can I install CVD indicator? It's a free tool inside of YouTube. Oh, inside, down in the description of this, guys. I think I've been on the stream for too long. I'm mincing my words. Okay, yeah, under free tools. That's where you'll find it. It's a suite that our team has developed. Our development team has developed. There's CVD with the lines. You can switch them on and off. You've got fear and greed index. You've got the economic calendar. You've got calculators, bubbles, heat maps. There's everything is here. Everything that I use, okay, myself, Andy, and Matt, everything that we use to trade is here, plus more. And we wanted something. We wanted one place that has everything. Instead of us having multiple websites open to see different things, we asked the team to build us something that has everything. Okay, and you can find it right here. It's for free for now. Okay, obviously if you want to join our community, where myself and Andy spend most of our time, where I share also when I enter and exit trades, how I manage my trades, you can go to my command center on Telegram and select start. Right, but guys, this is bad. Or not bad, this is bearish. You can see this level is being longed like crazy at the moment. So if you did take this SFP, which I missed, please pay yourself. Okay, protect position. It's already such a beautiful risk to reward trade. Let's go here to the 5 minute. It's a beautiful risk to reward trade. If you sniped this little bad boy, okay, where price is at the moment, and you put your stop loss where you're supposed to put your stop loss, it's already a 4 risk to reward trade. It's most traders' dream to catch anything above a 3 risk to reward. Because the one that Andy caught last night in his live stream is now officially... Oh my greatness, let me check this out. The one that Andy caught yesterday, okay, is now officially a 33 risk to reward. Beautiful. Obviously, it's not a 33. It will only be a 33 if you didn't take profits, and you're only taking profits now. okay, then it will be a 33. I know, guys, because I'm going to get messages of people saying it's not a 33 if you took most of the I get it. Okay, I'm just trying to demonstrate how powerful swing failure patterns can be if you can do them responsibly and execute them responsibly. Because this was also a trade that I highlighted yesterday in the community. When Andy went live, price came to the area of interest because yesterday I told everyone, okay, there was a couple of scenarios that I was watching over here. I just need to clean up the kitchen, guys. I don't like to work with a dirty kitchen. Let's clean up the kitchen. Okay. One of the scenarios I discussed yesterday was it was a W, a X, and a B, C, and a Y. That's what I was discussing. Price didn't do this yet. There was nothing, I think, if I can't remember. And I told everyone we had a daily level. Yeah, I said if price, okay, in the W, X, Y, price can form a flat A, B, C. I'm looking for a short, and I was looking for a long. The short played out inside of Andy's live stream. And then I know some people sent me messages to say, thanks, Devil, they caught it. And some people in the live stream also caught it. Okay, but remember, guys, you do not have to take any of the trades that we are taking. I'm just sharing with you how I trade. I'm not putting a gun to your head. I'm not telling you take the trade. I get stopped out, Andy gets stopped out. The reason we stay profitable is because we're managing our risk properly. So when we get stopped out, how little can we lose? And when we win, how much can we make? Yeah, I took that short. Yeah, what an epic short, guys, last night. You know, sometimes they're just easy. That was such a beautiful short with a FOMC last night. Booked 1.35, sniped close 75. Yo, you guys are legends. I know we have some very experienced traders here inside of the community, inside, you know, watching these streams. So well done, guys, for managing your risk properly. So it's also so refreshing to see that people are taking profits. They are booking 75% after seeing a message of someone getting liquidated. Yeah, it's not great, guys, because I also, during this dump, I got a lot of messages of people saying they got liquidated. This was not pretty. I took one loss during this entire fall. It was $1,000 loss. And then there was a bounce. It's inside of the community. I shared it inside of the community. Then there was a bounce where I made $8,000 the next day. It's not about bragging about the money. It's about I can lose and make it back responsibly. Not revenge trade it back. No. No. Revenge trading is not an option. Okay. Right, so maybe tomorrow I'll do a private live stream inside of the community. If not a private live stream, there will be plenty of updates, video updates. And tomorrow, remember guys, tomorrow is my day inside of the community, so I won't be on YouTube. Okay. Today's Andy's day inside of the community, so he spends the day in the community, I do YouTube. Tomorrow Andy will do YouTube and I will spend the day in the community. And hopefully, you know, I can catch some trades and share it with the community in terms of how I'm managing it and so forth. We also have some great altcoin traders. We've got some great Elliott wave counters inside of our community. Yeah, price is not doing much here at the moment, but maybe from a summary perspective, okay, if this is a W, X, I actually don't care if it's a WXY or if it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. The next obvious area of interest for me is the 1.618. There is massive bearish CVD building at the moment, which shows me that people are longing like crazy. I want this to calm down. Okay, I want this line to calm down. This line needs to fall aggressively. Once this line starts falling, then you know people are getting tired of longing. They're getting liquidated, whatever the case might be. They don't want to long anymore because they keep on getting stopped out. They've lost too much money, and that line needs to drop. Once this line starts dropping, it becomes really interesting to start looking for longs again. Not as it's just, Binance is going absolutely crazy here to the upside. So I'm going to be patient before I enter another long, guys. I want this line to calm down. And, right. So I'm just going to keep my short. What I am going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more profits from my short. It never hurts to pay yourself, right? Never hurts to pay yourself. So I'm going to take a little bit more profits, and there at that 1.618, I'll take a little bit more profits. Okay. Right, legends. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. Unfortunately, I have run out of time. I'm also starting to mince my words. I'm running out of brain power. And thank you so much for joining the live stream. I hope you guys have had fun. Okay, I got stopped out twice. It is what it is. Next trade, I'm going to catch it. Beautiful SFP from this pivot. Massive berry CVD playing out. So that's typically a trade where I would, pay myself, protect position, because you never know. Can it bounce? Yes, anything's possible in the market. But that's basically 1.618 at $62,000. And if things get really ugly to the downside, $60,000, 900 is what I'm watching. Okay, those are the two levels that I'm watching from a trend-based fib extension perspective. Obviously, tomorrow inside of the community, I will analyze the structure in more detail and highlight different levels that I will be attempting some trades. Okay, thank you so much for joining today's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you. Remember to gently just tap that like button on your way out. And until the next one, I will see you guys on Sunday, because tomorrow is Andy's day. Tomorrow I'll be inside of the community. Until the next one, cheers for now.